Welcome to the 2025 Just Baseball MLB Draft live stream. You got Arm Layton, I am Peter Apple, and we have a loaded stream for everybody. We're going to have multiple people coming on from the Just Baseball staff to break down each team's individual picks. But most of the time, you're going to be here with Arm and I, breaking down each pick. Arm, I think this is our fourth or fifth MLB Draft. Can you compare this?
Is four? Yeah, I think fourth.
I'm going to toss you a softball just to get us started. We're just going to talk shop for a little bit. Compare this draft to others that we've done in the past, because we've been there for the Skeens draft. Jackson Holiday going number 1 overall is still my best bet maybe that I've ever had. There have been some top-heavy drafts. Compare this one.
This one, it's kind of like a complete flip of last year, it feels like to me, where you had so many college bats. And I think this year it's so many high school bats. You even have a high school arm at the top. I think last year it was really fascinating just seeing how the class was kind of undersold, because I think people were a little bit more skeptical on the ceilings of college bats, but we saw those guys are absolutely balling out here. I think the biggest difference is it's a lot more high school heavy, a lot more unknown. And in terms of like the board and how things are going to run off, I think this is the most uncertain I've been. And I know no one knows anything at the end of the day. Like at mock drafts, you get 6 right, it's a W. But like this year, I think it is as up in the air as it has been. And I talked to some people before today, like some pretty decent sources here that like they still said it was up in the air as of like 2 hours ago. So it is wild seeing how much things are moving and shaking right now, and just how late we're still having things potentially change.
Who do you think is going to go number 1? I think we're both aligned. Cade Anderson, right?
I think Cade, which is why it won't be. It'll be something random, but I'm really excited to find out. I think we could get totally shocked. I really do. I think anything can happen with any of these early picks. I have no idea what's going to happen, honestly, but I think it should be Cade, and I think it is the most likely bet.
So for everybody listening, it's a good idea to go to justbaseball.com during the draft and check out Tyler Jennings, his big board. 315 prospects that could be drafted, today or tomorrow. Full breakdowns, plenty of analysis there. So if you're like, oh, who's this guy that my team just drafted? And maybe it's after the stream, go check that out. But for in the meantime, obviously, we will be breaking down every single pick. Another softball for you. We think Cade is going to go number 1. Do you think Cade Anderson truly should go number 1? Because I know, in some drafts, teams go under slot, right? I remember the Henry Davis draft. Was he truly the 1-1 best player in the draft? Probably not, but they wanted to save a little bit of money. Do you think that the Nationals, because this does seem like Ethan Holiday would probably take the most money to sign, especially if he goes number 1. So do you think Cade is actually just the best of both worlds? Like, he should go number 1 overall, and he will go number 1 overall.
If I were in the Nationals position, yes. Like, I think it depends where you're at. And like, if I had a chance to see Ethan Holiday play for weeks on end through high school and the summer circuit, just nonstop, and I felt really confident and convicted that he can be exactly what everybody thinks he could be, no doubt I could lean that way and get it. But I think if you're understanding the risk that comes with a high school, especially power bat, and you really want to hit on this pick, and you're also shaking up the front office, player development side of things too, like it's going to take some time to get that going the way that you want. I would lean towards the surefire big league arm who still has the upside to be, a number 2 type of starter and can fly through the minor leagues quickly. And it's you never draft on need, but when you look at the Nationals, like that's a pretty easy player to look at and say, hey, he can help us soon. And I know baseball is not very need driven, but I think with these college guys, you can start to reasonably look at that a little bit more. And I think with where the Nationals are at and some of the offensive core that they have, Cade Anderson just seems like such a great fit. And it seems like it makes a lot of sense for them.
So there's actually a pretty interesting question in the chat from Spencer Scott. Do y'all think the Mike Rizzo firing pushed the pick to Cade Anderson, or was he basically always going to be number 1?
Who knows, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think they already had their idea of how they wanted to do it, and I think that's part of the reason why they were okay potentially letting him go right before the draft. But who knows? I think at the end of the day, you got a couple Boris guys. So I don't know if it would have changed much of anything. I think they kind of had their decision and felt pretty good about where they were at, which is why they were okay with turning this page before actually putting the pick in.
There's another interesting question from Jacob Nichols in the chat. I heard that the Angels like Ike Irish at 2.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think about that? And there's kind of a reason why I brought up that question for you. Go ahead.
That would be a crazy reach. But hey, if you save a lot of money, could be something that you can get creative with. I don't see that one because they like to push guys too, and that's a guy that you got to put him in a corner in the outfield. He's got to really mash. There's a little bit more in zone whiff, I think, for him. Like I think that would be a little bit of an aggressive play there. I think people just throw stuff out on the Angels all the time and say they're on this or that, and because you can, and no one's going to say it's wrong or totally out of the realm of possibility. But I don't know. I think they bucked their trend a little bit here, and I think they could go Eli too. I think that has died down so much that I think Willits does end up being the surprise pick at 2.
So another question comes to us from Kyle Stelter. Shout out Kyle in our Discord. How would you feel about Bremner to the Jays? He knows some people on Toronto. Not exactly sure what he means by knows some people on Toronto, but I'm curious if he would go this early. In our most recent mock draft, Tyler and Jared's most recent mock draft, again, which you can find on justbaseball.com, they have Bremner going 11 to the A's, excuse me. And the Blue Jays, I've seen a lot of different people going to there. Do you think that Bremner at 8 or 9, I forget exactly where the Blue Jays pick, would be a little bit of a reach? It seems like he does have great stuff. I was talking to Tyler earlier, and the fastball is really solid, but the changeup is probably the second best overall pitch in the draft, right next to Liam Doyle's fastball. Do you think that's still too early, though, for him?
I mean, if you save money, and I mean, they've had a lot of success with the arms of late now, all of a sudden. I thought they did a good job last year, and you look at what they're doing already this year, it is really interesting. To like the success that they've had with a couple college arms. I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to go that route again. And a guy that clearly has a great field of pitch, they can move quickly. It wouldn't shock me, and they'd probably save some money in doing so.
Let's talk busts. No, just kidding. No. In the first 10 picks, who's the guy that you're gravitating towards the most, and why is it Eli Willits?
Well, in terms of who has the highest floor?
Yeah, just guys that in the top 10 that I know you're a Marlins fan, obviously, that you really want them to grab, but it might not last till 7. Just who's your guy in the first 10?
I think Willits is the safest, like, high school pick there. I think that's the guy. I mean, you have an extra year of him being able to develop because he's younger. He's switch hitter, great defender, good hit tool. I think being younger, given that the power is a little bit lesser maybe than some of the other guys in the class, he's a year younger. So that's another aspect where it's like you can dream on that, continuing to grow and come in a little bit more. That's the guy with the floor ceiling combination that I just think is so exciting. I'd be all over grabbing Willits there, and I would love to get him, but I think he goes early. Again, I think there was too much early smoke, and then it died down too quick, and I think we see Willits end up going pretty early. But if somebody can I don't see him slipping past the Cardinals. If he fits the Cardinals MO too, I don't see him slipping to the Marlins at 7, or really if anyone that gets him outside of 5, I think would be thrilled. Outside of the top 3, I really think so.
The Cardinals are in a really good position to crush the last 2 drafts. Going Weatherholt at 7. We saw him at the Futures game line a double off the wall, and he's just putting up a great season and should be helping the Cardinals relatively soon. Probably not this year, but definitely next year. And then the fact that they could get Eli Willits the next time around, like, Cardinals fans should be pretty happy if they could land Eli Willits. Another question I have for you, an interesting narrative that's been developing, is the Orioles, because the Orioles have now so many picks in this first round after their most recent trade, trading away Brian Baker to the Tampa Bay Rays. How do you think that the Orioles are going to go through this draft with so many picks in the first round and so much money to play with?
Clearly they had a specific goal in mind there to acquire that extra prospect capital there, or excuse me, the extra bonus pool capital there. I think they're going to get creative. I just don't know necessarily how. I could see it. I was talking to Tyler about it too. Maybe underslot on the first pick, maybe go Laviolette, and then you can buy down, Schoolcraft or another high school guy later. I think now with the bonus pool that they have, I wouldn't be shocked at all if they go under slot with the first selection and then swing big with the next two. That's a really fun challenge here. And I think they can really, they can run this draft, which is going to be really fun. So I think Orioles fans, as frustrating as things have been at points, this is a fun time to potentially reload the farm system, and they're going to sell a little bit. So I think they could get an influx of talent here pretty quickly. But I think they get creative under slot and then get multiple first round talents, in those later comp picks that may have easily been, top 20 guys on their board.
I'm really excited to see what the Orioles do. And this next question comes to us from Jared Cole. Thank you for donating, my friend Jared.
Oh, man.
Who reaches the majors first? Obviously I want to hear the answer to your question, but I do feel like it's whoever lands at number 2 on the Angels.
Yes, but otherwise it'd probably be Cade Anderson. It's just the fastball is going to play already. The strike throwing is already there. The secondaries are good enough. I think he flies through the minor leagues. I'm sure there's a sneaky other pick that you could maybe mix in there. There's not really any bats that I think are going to move too fast. Even Arquette, I don't think is going to fly through the minor leagues. So I think at the end of the day, what we got?
Eli Willits just got drafted first overall by the
Washington
Nationals. Wow!
I told you. Don't be surprised if he goes top 2. How about number 1? I love it.
Number
I
one?
bet you they cut a deal.
This is your guy.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I look, if you don't think the gap between Willits and Holiday is very big, which we don't here, I can speak for Tyler and obviously myself. I think we'll see what the signing bonus ultimately looks like and all that good stuff. But I do think that if you could cut a pretty significant deal there, the ceiling's probably a little bit lower in terms of power potential and all that good stuff. But I think Willits has a little bit better chance of sticking it short. I don't hate it. It obviously depends on the savings and everything like that. But this is also one of those instances where you wonder if the other two top guys, the clear top guys, Boris, that is the fascinating part. If you want to know about a pivot here, this might be the Rizzo pivot. Rizzo apparently had the relationship right with Scott Boras. The top two guys are Boras clients. And if a deal was not being, made there, which I assume Boras was playing hardball with the top 2 prospects in the draft, I think this new regime here with the Nationals said, well, we'll pivot then, and we're okay with that. And it's a different way of operating, and I think it's a sign of the new times with the Nationals. We'll see how it plays out. But again, it really comes down to how big of a gap do you think there is between Willits and a guy like Holiday, and also, if the ask was full slot for Cade Anderson, or just more than what the other 2 high school guys were going to go for, or just significantly more than Willits, I think that may have pushed them off. But it is a surprise for sure.
Peyton, can we rewind the highlights a little bit? I wanted to hear Aram break down the swing because, he's got pop from both sides of the plate. He's a switch hitter who obviously the Nationals expect to stick it short. Look how smooth the swing is.
Yeah, it's a really advanced, especially from the left side. Really, really advanced operation, under control. I love the swing, man. That's why the hit tool is really, really safe, relatively speaking, for a high schooler. And then you got him going from both sides of the plate, right? Obviously, the right side is a little bit behind, but when you've got the feel to hit, and I think the athleticism that he has, and again, he's so young, I really like the template that you can build on here. I love the swing mechanics from the left side. I love everything that's going on here. But I know our Marine Layer guys are going to be pumped up now because that means 1 of 2 of the top prospects in the draft are potentially going to land to them. And if Cade Anderson ends up landing in their lap, I know the Mariners will be quite pumped. But big surprise. I can't wait to find out the signing bonus. That's always how this ends up, going for me. It's like I can't fully judge the pick until I know, how much they saved and obviously what the subsequent picks were too.
So before we move on to pick number 2, who we think is going to go number 2, last thoughts for Nationals fans who are maybe expecting Cade Anderson or potentially Ethan Holiday, and then they get Eli Willits. They should be really excited though, right?
I think so. And again, if you really wanted those other 2, let's wait and see how the rest of the draft shakes out for them, because this is going to open up a lot more opportunity for them to do other things as well. But again, I don't think the talent gap is very big there between a Holiday and a Willits. So from that lens, I think you should be excited about it. It depends on how they maneuver from there, but that's enough, I think, for me to still say you should be pumped about it. I love Willits. I saw it more as 1A, 1B in the high school guys. And for that reason, if they do well with their later picks, I think you should be very, very excited.
Nationals fans, you got the arm stamp of approval. That's a good stamp to have. I got to be honest with you, because when the Yankees come up with their draft pick and I got the stamp of approval, I'm flying high for at least a week. Let's transition over to the Angels at pick number 2. We mocked Doyle, the lefty, to the Angels at number 2, but now everything has changed. It does feel like it's immediately now going to be Cade Anderson.
Yeah, how do you not go Cade Anderson here? Knowing what the way that they like to operate, Cade Anderson may not throw a minor league pitch, maybe. That seems like the pick. And no slight against Liam Doyle, who's a very talented arm. If the Angels still go Liam Doyle, I don't even know what to say about that. So I would say it's Anderson. Holiday would be understandable as well, and obviously they hosted him. They like him. They're excited about him. But what is it? What's the face? I don't have the draft stream up.
Joe Doyle. I'm hearing UC Santa Barbara right-handed pitcher Tyler Bremner, number 2 to the Angels.
Dude,
that's just what he's hearing. That's
I mean, Joe's on it, man.
I know he is on it. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Wow.
And also, right before we get into pick number 2, if you are enjoying the live stream, we really appreciate everybody coming. Again, we're going to continue to break down every single pick with highlights, analysis. We're going to have more staff coming in from Just Baseball who represent that team to then talk about needs and everything. We'd really appreciate it. Like the stream. It's the best way to support, right? Doing all this for free. Just like the stream and subscribe to our YouTube page. We got plenty of stuff coming out. Tyler Bremner. Joe Doyle just traded Tyler Bremner to the Angels. Oh my God, this is going crazy, people. The Los Angeles Angels are selecting Tyler Bremner. Oh my God.
No one knows anything with the draft. I'm telling you, this was the most unpredictable draft going into it than I'd ever imagined. And, we're seeing it here. And it seems like Cade Anderson's going to be the guy, with the third pick.
Number 3.
Yeah, and we got to bring the Marine Layer guys in to talk about that. But I mean, you look at Bremner, man, it's a high floor, right? It's a really high floor. You're going to get a ton of strikes. You're going to get, I think ultimately that fastball is going to carry a little bit more than you think. The changeup is great. And he was a guy that was viewed by many to be in this department, right? Potential top 5 pick before this last season. And, sometimes seasons don't go quite the way you expect. And that's kind of how it shook out, right? But at the end of the day, it was still a good year from him. He still saw some big-time starts, and I look at a guy that still can move pretty quickly. He's 21 years old. Again, that changeup is arguably the best pitch in the draft. The fastball has good characteristics. He needs to find something he can spin a little bit more, but I like the idea that he could fly through the minor leagues pretty quickly. This is a nuts draft, man, already. It's already on crack.
I absolutely love this draft already. I got to be perfectly honest with you. I like Bremner. I think he's got a good fastball, like you said. I think that the changeup is out of this world.
It's just getting cute with it.
Cade Anderson should be the pick at 2. I'm sorry. Yeah. He has to, and it's just, again, but this is wild. And maybe Bremner was the pick all along for the Angels. And it just goes to show how chaotic drafts can be. And especially this one where there's, not a ton of solidified guys at the top. It's just consensus of what we all thought. But at the end of the day, screw what we all thought. This is going crazy.
And when it's this up in the air, it makes it even easier for MLB teams to justify the underslot, I think. And so 100%. They have because no one's gonna be like, how did you pass on Paul Skeens? How did you pass on Cruz or Langford? You can't optically, it's a nightmare. Look at the Tigers. It's now aged super well with Clark and McGonigal, but they got killed, right? Yeah. So it's really hard to do it when there's more of a consensus. When it's wide open, I think teams get even more emboldened to underslot, get creative, and maybe too much. Again, Bremner might be a great starter, but I don't know how you go him over Cade Anderson.
TJ, are you just living life right now? You got the opportunity to take Cade Anderson.
I cannot believe what I just saw at pick number 2. Lau and I just jumped up and down when we saw that notification.
Is that almost what it must feel like to win a World Series?
Well, we wouldn't know.
Yeah. A little bit of a joke.
But here's the thing, guys, because we were talking to Joe earlier about the possibility for Bremner to the Mariners if something like that if that was even somewhat of a possibility. But now the Angels didn't even let that be an opportunity, and the guy they were begging for is just sitting there right now. And I think Joe already tweeted it that they're looking at him.
I mean,
I am wondering too if the Angels, knowing the Angels, do they think Bremner is more of a guy who they think can get major league outs sooner than Cade Anderson? Is that the reason they drafted him? Because again, I don't understand it. I really don't. And maybe I'll just have egg on my face and it'll be proven wrong, but I just do not understand Bremner over Anderson.
Then why not pick Doyle? Because his fastball and splitter, I feel like are closer, right? Am I out of
it's
left field with that?
Not totally wrong. I think they're just they probably feel like they can get Bremner further along with the feel to pitch and spin it, because both of them have a challenge to spin it a little bit. But it's utterly shocking at the end of the day. How fast? Because the Mariners, they're not fast tracking guys, right? If Cade Anderson is absolutely shoving, how fast do you think the Mariners would push him, given that this is an exception, right? Like the Mariners haven't drafted an arm like this in a very long time, in terms of a guy that right away is potentially the highest floor in the draft.
I'd say this time next year he could potentially be in the rotation, because what Lau and I've already talked about, he's here. He made it out here, by the way, just outside of your guys' setup.
What's up, Lau?
Well, what we theorized in this offseason that Luis Castillo's no trade clause is going to expire on the 1st of next year, and that he's most likely going to get traded so they can shed his money off the payroll. That would leave a hole open in the rotation. They have Hancock and Logan Evans, who have performed well at times this season. But if you have a guy like Cade, the floor is so high and the pitch mix is already so good that, I mean, it's just looking you in the face that you feel like a year of development in your system that has produced some awesome pitchers will go out there and perform. Picks in?
It's hashtag official.
Oh,
Seattle Mariners have selected Liam Doyle. Just kidding. Cade Anderson is going to the Seattle Mariners. You guys got to be just so excited.
Best case scenario.
Dude, this is sick. I mean, I don't think the Mariners really thought this was going to happen, even as soon as, or as recently as today. But yeah, like what TJ just said, he needs maybe a year of development time. The Mariners really haven't had a guy like this. Like, they've developed pitchers well, right? And they've had a track record that's been as good as anybody's with it. But they've never had a guy that has the potential to rise this fast through the system. So between that and between what I think is the best player in the draft and Cade Anderson, I think this is like, how can Mariners fans not be excited about this? This is what they were dreaming on, that Cade would fall to 3.
And on top of that, they are in their comfort zone with this pick. The worry with Seth Hernandez is that, okay, you drafted Ryan Sloan last year and he's been fantastic so far, but otherwise, high school starters have not really been their forte in terms of what we do really well and the guys we can get to the big leagues.
I don't think anyone does it well.
Starters, I mean, just look at the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is the Mariners have been so good overall, still developing, and like, this is a guy that doesn't really need to be touched. And so you think about just some of the little things that you can probably help push him across and maybe unlock a little bit more. I mean, that could elevate the ceiling even further, but you don't even really mess with a guy like this. And I think, in terms of, I'm trying to think of like best case scenarios for you guys over the last few years. Where does this rank for you?
Oh, where does this rank? Well, it's got to be up there at this point. They haven't picked 3 in forever.
Yeah, and we begged them to take a swing with this pick. We didn't want to see him go underslot. We didn't really want to see him take the guy with the high floor, low ceiling. We said, you don't get to draft here almost ever, so take the guy that has the chance to be a star. And we were thinking somebody like Seth Hernandez, because we thought Cade would be gone. But in a situation like this, you're taking the guy with the high floor and a potential high ceiling. So again, like, this is a win-win in every way, I think.
And you guys did a bunch of profiles for all of these picks, because we were talking about it and you guys said that the Mariners are in a really interesting opportunity with the number 3 pick. Was Cade at the top of both of your guys' board, kind of regardless, but you just thought it was a fever dream that he would never get there? Like, was it Ethan Holiday? Like, if money didn't matter, would Cade Anderson be both of your guys' number 1 pick off the board?
I really talk myself into Seth Hernandez, but like, if I'm going to put on my baseball, like, general manager cap and my objective, like, as down the middle as possible cap, and say, who makes the most sense for this organization, I would say Cade Anderson, because he's more polished. He's much closer to the big leagues. His floor is way higher. So I would say yes.
Yeah, and I had Cade number 1. So there's just like a little difference between the two of us. But man, and Cade, for reference, was number 2 on Lyle's board. Yeah. So not like they reached very far on that one.
What's crazy is, I don't know if it's been reported yet, but I'm hearing like Cade Anderson, it's around 8.8 million.
Wow,
It's 700,000 under slot.
What?
Oh, so they can still go over for 35.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try to report that right now. But yeah, that's what I'm hearing is Cade Anderson was 8.8.
Yeah, feel free to go tweet that. I want to talk about pick number 4. It does seem like Ethan Holiday is going to end up being the pick here for the Colorado Rockies. And Arm was just talking about underslotting Cade Anderson. First of all, that sentence, if you're a Mariners fan for a second, guys, with the number 3 pick, the Seattle Mariners underslot Cade Anderson. Like, how more perfect could it be for you guys?
Dude,
and then I'm thinking, Rockies, are they going to give, actually knowing the chaos, they're probably going to go $1 million underslot for Ethan Holiday somehow, even though that makes no sense because none of this makes any sense.
So we were sitting here talking earlier when I mentioned we talked to Joe Doyle about this. If they were going to take someone like Bremner, it was going to save money. But you're telling me we get the Mariners get the better pitcher still under slot, and that leaves you, for example, last year when they went and they signed Ryan Sloan. I believe the pick they got Sloan with the slot value was like $1.5 million. They went $1.5 million over. They don't have quite that much, but they can still make a pretty significant dent to a high schooler or whoever might be sitting there. If it's a college player who slips, and promise them that amount to go sign him and potentially have 2 like high floor legit first round picks.
Yeah, I don't think they could have scripted this much better.
I know. I think that would be the perfect sentence if you're a Mariners fan, like going into this draft. We underslotted Cade Anderson at 3.
I would say I can't believe the Angels, but I
could totally believe the Angels, but at the same time, I can't believe the Angels. I think we're all aligned. Like, we can believe it, the Angels did this, but at the same time, Angels, I can't believe you did this.
To anyone who might be watching this stream and wants to hear our more deep dive analysis on Cade Anderson, we'll have a pod out first thing tomorrow morning detailing this and all the other Mariners picks from day one.
How long will the continuous smile be on both of your guys' faces? Like, do you think your cheeks are going to be just hurting like no business after that pod?
Dude, I'll make it back to Seattle this weekend with a smile on my face. Like this weekend when they're back playing the Astros, I'll probably still be smiling.
Unbelievable. Well, boys, I think we got number
Enjoy
4 coming up, but really appreciate your time. And for everybody listening, make sure to go check out the Marine Layer podcast. Lyle and TJ do such a good job. And that's probably going to be the happiest podcast in America tomorrow. Like,
Yes.
I can't think of a group of people who are going to be more happy. And it does seem like the pick is in. The Colorado Rockies select Ethan Holiday, number 4 overall.
And guys, I'm sorry if I was wrong about my scoop, but I feel pretty good about it. If he didn't, but I don't even think they care.
Who cares?
I don't even think they care if it's full
spot.
spot.
They got Cade Anderson.
Yeah, it's electric. It's
Sounds
I
good to
electric.
appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
Arm,
guys.
Let's talk Ethan Holiday for a second. Yeah, can
I
we get
love
some
a
highlight
holiday in Colorado again. I love it.
Yeah, talk to me.
Great spot for him. Hit tool concern is the biggest question with him, and he did a great job of answering that this year. And then you're going to put him in altitude where he's still power over hit. I love it. Like I love the fit. Obviously it's the Rockies, and you're like, oh, don't mess him up. This guy doesn't need development help. Look at his brother. They live in a batting cage. Their dad rakes. This is the best case scenario for the Rockies. A guy that despite your best efforts, you probably can't mess up. It's up to him. And I think that's the part that even with the swing and miss concerns, right? It's just going to be whether he's capable of hitting enough or not. I think ultimately he's going to have all the resources and ability to do it on his own. So that's the good news. When you look at maybe a power over hit high schooler going to the Rockies, generally I'd be like, oh shit. But with him, I really do like that he's able to just kind of control his own destiny a little bit more with what he's able to do. I always talk about like a lot of hitters, they go to third parties to fix their swings and stuff like that and get right, because it's not always the teams that get them right. I think this is a great fit. And I love having another Holiday in Colorado. Rockies fans have not had a lot to get excited about. They should be absolutely thrilled with this. It's a best case scenario for them. And he has a chance. He has the upside, especially with the Holiday name too, to be that next face for them. And man, they sorely need that.
I am curious too, because I was talking with Tyler earlier on, and he said that there were some concerns with Holiday about his ability to stick at shortstop, right? He's a big body. But per Tyler, his defense has gotten a lot better, especially in that last season in high school. So it does seem to be a consensus that they believe he's a shortstop until proven otherwise, which just continues to rise Holiday stock. So if I'm a Rockies fan right now, plenty of chaos in the first 3 picks. But you got your guy. You got the guy that was mocked to you the entire time. The best fit, Matt Holliday, obviously a Rockies legend. Like, if I'm a Rockies fan right now, I am over the moon happy. I think this is perfect for them.
Oh my gosh, you got to be thrilled. I'm so happy for Rockies fans. Like, it's the small things, right? It's the little victories, and I'm sure this is not a little one though. I mean, you should feel pretty good about this. And now this makes the entire rest of the show, or the rest of the draft, just wild. Like, I just don't know how the rest of this is gonna go.
Well, we are hearing again from Joe Doyle that it does seem like Liam Doyle is going to go 5 to the Cardinals, which makes sense, right? In our final mock draft, we had him going number 2 to the Angels, but again, on the big board, we have him at number 10. So if you're a Cardinals fan, again, the pick hasn't been announced yet, so I kind of want to ask you this before the pick is. Do you think Doyle is the right pick at 5 for the Cardinals?
It's just, it fits their MO a little bit, right? It's just they like those higher floor college arms, and even though he's kind of a volatile arm in theory because he throws so hard, he's at least going to be that bullpen, high leverage arm that you can put in there. But you also feel like he could be a 5 and dive starter, get a little bit more out of it, just if he can find something he can spin more. But he has plenty of upside too. I don't want to say it's not the pick. I imagine that Willits was probably very high up on their board. I imagine Holiday was very high up on their board. Those guys are gone. Anderson's gone. If they feel like the next high school guys are a little bit further behind, I don't hate the pick if they really are that high on him. But we've seen sometimes they go for the arms. Like, I think about a Cooper Jerpy, totally different type of guy, but had a lot of in zone swing and miss because of the funk, things like that, and it just hasn't totally come together for them. So it just seems like something that they're willing to gamble with, and but you get a lot more upside with a guy in Liam Doyle here. So it fits their MO. I would never have seen them drafting a Seth Hernandez, right? And again, I think they're the 2 high school guys they wanted are gone. I understand it, especially if they had some apprehensions about, some of the other college arms.
So there's a funny comment here in the chat, and keep it up, everybody. I really appreciate all the questions from Dawson Campbell. Harold comparing Ethan Holiday to Cal Ripken is so on brand. I love those pro comps, just crazy names. And what I was talking with Aram when we were at the Futures game, I was like, I know you don't like pro comps, so take it to the nth degree. Start comparing them to like guys from the 1910s. Like, who Ethan Holiday reminds me of? Rogers Hornsby. He reminds me of Honus Wagner, because then you have the easy cop out where you're like, I told you, those old guys wouldn't have been able to compete in this game if those players were to fail. And if they take the next step, you could say you compared him to Honus Wagner. So it's a win-win there. At 5, I would rather them go with Seth Hernandez, but it does seem like, and the pick is in Liam Doyle, number 5 overall to the St. Louis Cardinals. I think at worst, and of course you'll provide a lot more color than me, is that he could, if he doesn't end up being a starter, like let's say that third pitch doesn't come in, because we know he has arguably the best pitch in the draft. That fastball and the splitter is really good too. But if he never is able to develop a third pitch, he can be a lockdown reliever, potentially even a closer.
I mean, he's gonna be throwing 100 probably with a splitter that is, nasty. That you've got a guy that, if it's not coming along, you could then make that decision and just push him quickly, to the big leagues. But at the end of the day, you look at kind of where they're at. Quinn Matthews, I know he's had his ups and downs this year, but clearly developed really nicely with them, and unlocked a lot more. And I think there's just this level of moxie too, where Liam Doyle kind of screams like elite closer. But again, I don't want to do that to him, because if he finds something he can spin a little bit more, he can be really, really successful as a starter as well. I think you're getting a really electric left arm that you don't get an opportunity to get left-handed pitchers, a little bit more now, but to get left-handed pitchers who throw 100. So I'm never gonna say bad pick when it's a guy that's striking out 15.5 per 9 from the left side in the SEC. It's an elite heater, and clearly they feel really good about what they can potentially get out of him.
I do wonder if the Cardinals make a push and they're playing really competitive games in September, which I expect them to do so. Would they see Doyle as someone who can help them in the bullpen as soon as that time? I know that kind of sounds crazy, but with how good that fastball is, if it could get hitters out and he's spotting the splitter early, I think he could get big league outs in a 1-inning spurt potentially. Now, again, do you think so, or do you think that's jumping?
I mean, when you throw 100 with a splitter like that, yeah, he could do that. I do think that when you're taking him that early, they're going to want to develop the secondaries, see what he can do there. Maybe a cutter can be enough to work horizontally for him, get that pitch coming along a little bit further. I think they're excited about what they can potentially develop here, and I don't blame them. It makes sense.
So it does seem like Seth Hernandez is going to be the 6th pick to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No, they're never afraid of the high school volatility. I'll tell you that. But their arms, man, that is a stable.
Yeah.
Stable. I think that's just best player available.
I think so too, because I think a lot of us expected them to go bat, but I think you're right. I think they're just like, oh, wait, Seth Hernandez was supposed to go anywhere from 3 to 5. We have him at the top of our board. Might as well just draft him. And it's not like it's a bad pick. I love the pick. I think Seth Hernandez is going to be great one day.
Yeah, I mean, and look, the arms that they've drafted have developed pretty nicely. There's no doubting that. So I think they look at, okay, let's play to a strength a little bit here. Connor Griffin is another example of a guy that I think made those fixes on his own. Let's play to a strength here with what we've been able to do pitching wise, and let's just continue to develop high upside guys. And I mean, again, if you're looking at playing to a strength at that pick, and even that part aside, who has the highest ceiling for you, who is available, it's Hernandez. So I think you can just be excited about what that future can look like. Of, you hope you still have Skeens at that point, but even just a Bubba Chandler and Seth Hernandez and Jared Jones, and it is really amazing what they've been able to kind of build there. And they've even got a lot of other like second tier, arms and prospects on the pitching side that are really fascinating. So I think you got to be really pumped about it if you're a Pirates fan. Even if you wanted a bat, this is a really, really exciting opportunity to have your next, Bubba Chandler type of prospect here.
And before we continue through the draft, I want to tell you guys about our friends at Chinook Seedery. As you can tell, our MLB Draft stream is presented by Chinook Seedery, truly the best seeds on earth. I love every single flavor. And the reason I love Chinook seeds so much is because I've been eating seeds all of my life. And I have a problem sometimes when the seeds are so salty. They leave you with kind of that sandpaper tongue. And I feel like if I eat too much, I'm just going to have like a mini heart attack. Where with Chinook, you get those little packets. They're 130 calories. They're cooked. I don't know exactly the science that goes into it, but it's perfect.
There is
I
science,
never get that. I know there is science. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to speak on the science because I'm definitely not a scientist, but I know that they're cooked perfectly. There's so many great flavors. I'm personally a fan of the cinnamon toast crunch. I know you're a fan of the barbecue. They have so many great flavors. And truly, when I say this, I am not exaggerating. I know they are a sponsor. Truly the best seeds on earth.
No, they are.
I would not say that. I'm telling you seriously, they are the best seeds on earth.
If you don't think so, let us know. And tell me what's better. And I would be pumped to try it. Like it's and we have a promo code, right? That too, which is the fun part. You get a discount if you use it's code JUSTBASEBALL.
Code JUSTBASEBALL to get 15% off Chinook seeds. Highly recommend getting some because they really are the best seeds on earth. But let's get right back to, is it just me or is Peter built like a Wendy's Frosty?
I did that. By the way. That was me. I threw that on there. I didn't say that, but I put it on the stream.
All I'm trying to do is have fun with this draft. It's chaotic. I'm throwing it over to you to hear some analysis. I don't need that right now. I'm like, so you know what's funny? Like, just peel back the curtain here. I'm so shocked about the Cade Anderson underslot thing that I'm nervous it's wrong. And like, it's a source I trust with my life. But like, I'm like nervous it's wrong because it's so ridiculously exciting. Like that sentence, the Mariners draft Cade Anderson with the number 3rd pick underslot is like not a sentence I thought I would ever say in my entire life.
No. So how do we think that this shakes out for the maybe like what we weren't expecting, right? Like here's the runoff now that we were not expecting. So how does this affect potentially the next few picks, because I think some teams are going to see players available that they were probably not expecting to be available.
Well, here's the thing. Outside of Bremner, it feels like the 5 picks, right?
It's just
Willits,
interchange.
it's just different order of what we expected. So, for example, we had Eli Willits mocked at 5. Instead, he went 1, right? We still had Ethan Holiday at 4. We had Cade Anderson at 1, but instead he's 3, right? We had Seth Anderson, I think, at 3, but instead he is 6. So it's a lot of the same players that we mocked outside of Bremner. So the big board hasn't necessarily changed that much. It's just the order, and then the Angels throwing that grenade right in the middle with Tyler Bremner. So it still feels like we're on track a little bit, but at the same time, it's completely chaotic.
You're right. You're right. And now, as I was just listening to you say that, hey, look at his stats. Look at his stats the last 2 weeks, guys. Guys killing.
We need to get as many, because the Marlins are on the clock, if I'm not mistaken.
Can I just so people can get out in front of it? The
Yes.
pick I wouldn't want the Marlins to make is Ike Irish, and there's nothing against him. I think he could be a good player. Just not in the top 10. I would take him in the 15, 16, 17 range. I'm a little bit nervous about Arquette.
Cross your fingers, please.
Dude,
let
the Marlins have nailed it the last 3 years in terms of getting a reaction out of me, and it's really hard to make me care at this point. So, it would be really, really funny if they did that. I think if you're the Marlins, you got to be pumped that Arquette's there. I just think you got to go college bat, man. Like college bat with power that can play shortstop. They still don't really have. I like Acosta, I do. Like and he's starting to heat up. They still don't have a shortstop though that you can point to in the farm system and say, if Otto Lopez fizzles out, this is the next guy up. Like it's Starlene Caba, who's still trying to stay healthy and hit an extra base hit in low A. So I just think, I'd go Arquette. I would at this point. And I'd feel pretty comfortable about it. I would not go Jamie Arnold. I think there's a chance they could do that. I wouldn't be pissed about it because I love the kid. He was awesome on the call up, and there's some funkiness to him. And I think with the Marlins pitching development, they could do something very fascinating there because he is really tough against righties. But I would not overthink it, and I would go with the top college bat in the draft, and like comfortably the top college bat in the draft. After you got screwed, you're not screwed. Honestly, I love it. Like I do love the lottery system. Don't incentivize teams for sucking. But I after you got a raw deal, you can still get the top college bat in the draft. Don't overthink it. Go get Arquette.
Would you be disappointed if they went with any of the prep shortstops like a Billy Carlson or a JoJo Parker?
No, I don't think so. Carlson, I would just have to reserve judgment until he plays, because I am very concerned about the hit tool he needs to make a swing change. So yeah. But you have a potential 70 glove with elite speed, power potential, like the tooled galore. So if they see him and they have conversations internally and say, this is a guy that we think we can get right, then I'm not judging that until, we see him play. Because I do have, for the first time in my life, confidence in the Marlins' ability to develop guys a little bit more on the offensive side. So that would, I'd take it with a grain of salt there at that point. Honestly, of the picks that they could reasonably make here, the only ones that would make me not upset, but like just I'd be like, is Ike Irish. I honestly really think it's just Ike Irish. I wouldn't love Jamie Arnold, but I could talk myself into it. I would love to see Arquette, JoJo Parker, and Billy Carlson. It would just be buckle up, but I mean, it could be something special there. Judging by the way that the Marlins like to operate, I think that they gravitate more towards a Carlson or an Arquette, but I'm very, very interested. I don't think they were expecting it quite to shake out this way, but maybe they were. I don't know. I'm very, very curious, and I'm not going to look at my phone, by the way, so you guys can know before me. I'm going to close the chat.
Do you want me to tell you who pick number 7 is?
No, I'm saying you don't need to tell me. You don't need to tell me. I'm looking at it right now. Let's see.
I think you're going to be happy.
There you go. That's a good pick.
Yeah. I've Arquette number 7.
Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Go with the best college bat in the draft. Yeah. And look, I like the high school guys more than Arquette. I've talked about that. Like the two top high school guys, right? I would have went Holiday and Willits over Arquette. I would have even though the Marlins need bats, I would have went with, probably would have went with the top arm in the class in a Cade Anderson. But I think this is that next guy. None of those guys were available. So I would rather have gone Arquette than rolling the dice with a Carlson. JoJo Parker's fun, but I don't even think he's giving you the tools that, an Arquette can give you. And I think Arquette may even have a slightly better chance of sticking it short. So I think just judging that, you're getting a little bit more proximity because obviously this guy's performed in the collegiate ranks. Like I really do like this for the Marlins, and I think Marlins fans should be very pumped up about this pick. And a guy that you hope you can push a little bit more quickly, but instantly becomes, to me, I think the most exciting infield prospect they've got. I think pretty comfortably.
I agree. Marlins fans should be really excited about this pick, and it makes me think, like, who's getting the best value through the first 7 picks, and it feels like it's either the Rockies with Holiday, but I think it's the Marlins with Arquette, because I think you can make a. Sorry, you got me?
Got you.
Okay. Where did I cut off there?
I think you could make a
sound argument that the Marlins are getting the best value in the draft so far with Arquette at 7.
I'd say there or Holiday. I agree.
Yeah, Holiday at 4.
Just getting, because the archetype of Holiday plus all the other aspects to it, like that's just a dream scenario. But
I'm just thinking about, because Arquette was mocked as high as 3, and it felt like Ethan Holiday, there was, some buzz potentially about number 1. His brother went number 1, but I never feel like those rumors were actually ever real. It just felt like a lot of people, he's such a popular prospect that a lot of us kind of just pushed him up the board, and he is as talented as anybody, but so is Arquette, and you're getting him at 7 rather than 4. That, to me, feels like the best value here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that in terms of in a vacuum value there, it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue. I think you got to be really, really excited if you're a Marlins fan. And again, I know fans were very nervous because of the way that things shook out, in the lottery, and obviously the early returns of last year's draft have been a little bit shaky. 2 high school guys, so you got to be patient. This really gives the Marlins something that they sorely needed. And I can't tell you the last time they've drafted a college bat that I actually felt good about. I still have some hit tool concerns with him for sure. I've talked about that. And for me, I kind of had him in this like 6-7 range in the class. But again, I think it fits really well for the Marlins. And now you look at what the Blue Jays can do, and I'm looking at what our guy Tyler mocked. I think he may have nailed it with Jamie Arnold. I think it fits like a glove there.
It's interesting too, because Doyle just tweeted out that Jamie Arnold was going to be the pick for the Blue Jays, and then he comes right back around and says, "Hold that thought." So it might not end up being Jamie Arnold. But before we get to the 8th pick, again, just another reminder, guys, the best way to support this stream, just like it up. Keep those comments coming. We appreciate them. We'll try and answer as many comments as we can. And again, another reminder, we are presented by Chinook Seedery, the best seeds on earth. Just got a text. It could be source Tyler Jennings.
Tyler,
guy, the Toronto Blue Jays are selecting JoJo Parker, not Jamie Arnold. I think it is interesting that they went with JoJo Parker over Billy Carlson, because both prep shortstops are on the board, and you were mentioning your favorite picks with the Marlins, and you focused a lot on Billy Carlson. I wouldn't say that you decided, oh yeah, I'd rather have Billy Carlson than JoJo Parker. I think you were more just talking about Billy Carlson.
Just because I from what I gathered, it seemed like the Marlins didn't love. They liked JoJo, but I don't think they loved him. And so I thought he may not be in the equation there. But
do you agree with Miami on that?
I like JoJo a lot, but I think the Marlins, they have an approach here where, like, you want to find guys that can, potentially stick it at short, and like if they don't hit enough, what are the other ways that they can impact the game? And JoJo's hit over everything, but I really think he's going to grow into more power. I think that Parker ultimately was a guy that I would have ranked ahead of Carlson, on our, like, if I had a big board. Obviously we defer to to Tyler on that, but I'm also so pumped that Tyler got to break that.
That's awesome.
It's awesome for him.
And he's at the draft right now.
I love it. I love it. I think this guy is probably the best outside of Willits. I think he's the best pure hitter in the prep class. And you could argue that he might be a better pure hitter than Willits. I think just given the age, you have to probably give a slight edge to what Willits is able to do. But even if he plays third base, I think it's an above average third. And I think there's power to dream on there. I mean, you look at the frame.
Yeah, look at that swing.
It's awesome. He's got to get a little bit less heavy on the front foot, but he can get away with that because his bat speed is so quick. I think this is a really high floor bat relative to most high schoolers as well. It's a good pick for the Jays. I think you should be happy with that if you're a Jays fan. And you are really looking at an infield organizationally, other than Namala. There's not a ton of guys that I think you'd be super, super excited about infield wise. And you figure they're going to be buyers. They're probably going to move some players that aren't Namala anyways. So you wanted to get another like high probability big league infield piece that has still a lot of upside because he's a high schooler. I love the JoJo Parker pick overall because I just think if he fell outside of the top 10, it would have been pretty surprising.
Does look like the number 9 pick could potentially be Steele Hall at a high school, another prep shortstop, not Billy Carlson. That's got to be an underslot pick.
I love that. All this Ike Irish smoke.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like that. It looks like it was just smoke. Although the Athletics will probably jump all over that at that point. Steele Hall is a tool shed.
Yeah,
it absolutely flies.
And he's so young. He's 17. He reclassified.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, look, the Reds have gravitated towards those tooled up shortstops or just prep prospects. You know, we saw them do it with Stafora, but I think with Hall, you're getting a much more advanced hitter here compared to where Stafora was at. But it is tools first. But again, another guy that's younger, you got more time for him to potentially develop. Absolutely flies. He is the fastest guy in the class. Probably the only 80 grade runner in the class.
Wow.
This is a specimen in terms of just freakish tools, what he could potentially be. And it's a quick, short, compact swing that I don't think is going to result in a ton of power, but I think there's enough twitch there to get into it. If it's a lot of extra base hits and some good defense too, it's a fun player. I think
those hands.
And think about the Reds too, man. Like I'd swing for the fences. You know, you've got a lot of higher floor players in that system. Whether it's a South Stewart's bat or Edwin Arroyo's glove or whatever it may be, but I would want a dynamic talent. And I think this is a potential dynamic talent for them in that farm system that I think adds plenty of excitement.
Do you think this question comes to us from Sean Donahue in our Discord? Cam Collier playbook.
Well, Collier was crazy because he fell so freaking far and just fell into their lap. Whereas like, I think this was kind of the early side of where they thought he'd go, but to the point of just like Collier young, reclassified. That's the Collier playbook side of it. Right. And a guy that is advanced for his age, but you can be a little bit more patient with because of the fact that he's so young for the class. I think that's the other reason why the Reds were excited to do that. So I think Sean's right.
Do you think Steele Hall, because I think on our big board, I want to check because I know that, he had Tyler had him at 18, so he was still pretty high on him. But do you think that these models that take into account age and probably shoot the younger guys up more aggressively, do you think Steele Hall was probably a pretty popular model pick around teams in base?
No doubt. Especially when you probably have some of the measurables, like some of the speed and whatever else teams really value a bake into that model on top of the age side of things. And I also just think the Reds model, I'd assume it skews towards tooled up guys. And as Sean mentions in the chat too, like Tyson Lewis, like that's a guy that's popping 118s. They're going slow with him. They took him in the second round. He's still playing at the complex because he's aggressive, but that guy can absolutely get into it. And all of a sudden it's like plus raw power. You got to see if he's going to hit enough, but I think they're very comfortable just spraying the board on high upside high school pieces and seeing what can happen there. So I like it. I like it. I think it's a fun shot to take.
What do you think about this comp coming in from Logan I-54? And again, another reminder, guys, keep filling up the comment section. You got comps, you got questions, you got anything, let us know. I'm going to try and keep bringing more questions to the forefront. Steel Hall is a Sal Frelick coded player. Fast, lunge, pail, grit, grind. I love that comment. I don't even know if that comp makes any sense, but I love the comment itself.
I know. I don't know enough about the hit tool, but if the bat to ball is that that impressive, which it is a quick, compact swing, I could absolutely see it, and that'd be really fun. But yeah, those are players that I'm always going to be excited to pick up. And also, I think we're going to plug it in a moment here, but we're doing a charity auction with some really awesome canvases signed by Max Clark. We also have Kyle Tucker, Corbin Carroll, Walker Buehler. Charity, it goes to Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, the Buehler Foundation, and the other charities of the player's choice. They're painted by my wonderful girlfriend, Ellie. And we already have them listed online, but I think we're going to post a link or the QR code somewhere. I know somebody behind the scenes will do that, but would really love for you guys to support that. Very, very pumped about raising money for a good cause, and the canvases are freaking awesome, and they're signed by really exciting players and prospects. So would really appreciate you guys checking out that auction and supporting that.
Ever since Jack McMullen entered the building, the fish are hot.
It's crazy.
The fish are just hot. Look at the draft pick. Look at the recent wins, Jack. We're all a part of Fish Fam here. We welcome on Elijah Evans.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
One of the new hosts to the call up. Can break down any prospect anywhere. What's up, Elijah? You excited for this pick?
Guys?
Who do you want?
I'm fired up. This has to be Billy Carlson. It's got to be. I don't. There's some slight concerns there, right? But like the projection, the safety of a guaranteed shortstop, the power upside. The White Sox have a long way to go. You need hitters. You need hitters with upside. I've been JoJo Parker or Carlson the whole time. I'm a little worried the Sox are going to go Arnold here. We know the White Sox love their lefties. That's like 3 straight drafts. They've taken a lefty in the first 2 rounds. We'll see. I think Carlson is the right pick here. Arnold would not surprise me at all. I'd put it that way. So I could see it being one of the two.
So Elijah, you mentioned earlier, we were actually talking in the car like 2 hours ago, that the White Sox might underslot this pick. And it doesn't feel like Billy Carlson would be an underslot pick at 10. So if they were to still go that route, who do you think it's going to go with?
That route, I would have thought Steele Hall, because I had thought there was no way he was going before 10. If they still go that route, it could be Kason Cunningham. That was Tyler Jennings' mock draft 3.0 pick for the White Sox until he changed it today to Parker, actually, who just went 2 picks ago. Kason Cunningham could be the underslot here. I think if you were to go underslot prep here, it'd be Cunningham. And then Billy Carlson would be the guy, if you go kind of the standard route. Jamie Arnold is the other one there. I think it's got to be one of those 3. I would just take Carlson. I think he's a more exciting piece to add to the organization than Cunningham is, but it wouldn't shock me to see an underslot for Cunningham or the lefty pitcher in Arnold.
Arm, what do you got?
I think I could see them going Arnold just because
it just seems like more
ammo, and if I were you, I wouldn't be thrilled about it.
I agree. I'm with you. But we'll see, man. I think yes, the
Alex,
idea
I got
Arnold.
it. Okay, good. I was so confident on the source on Kate Anderson, but it was so unbelievable that I was almost like I might just still not tweet it. It was like, I don't know. Kate Anderson could have texted me himself, and I would have been like, I don't know.
Can we ban Jack? Can we ban him? How do we do that?
Him.
Just ban him. Ban him.
This man's on a flight. Is he not supposed to be?
He makes me like not. I already was on the fence about the Marlins. He's pushing me the other side.
I'm trying to hype him up. I'm like, the Fish Fam is hot. Jack McMullen enters the building. Stream is out. Ban him. Just ban him. Also,
honestly,
how do I do that thing? Aram, I noticed that you were live on Twitter. How do I do that on my Twitter? That's awesome.
No, it's set up on StreamYard. I just did it. I realized we didn't even do that, which is that's a mistake on my end. So we got it fired up.
Still rolling. Yeah, quick shout out to my guy Tyler Bremner. I heard you guys talking about it. Obviously, yeah. I've been hearing all day he's going to go higher than we expect. 2 was never what I imagined. He's going to be in the bigs next year, which is a little scary but very cool. Bremner, it's a shocking pick. It's definitely the one surprise, I think, of this first 9. Like, Steele Hall's a bit of a surprise too, but it doesn't shock me from what the Reds go for. I think Bremner's the one shocking one. It'll be really interesting if he can continue to develop his slider, though. I think you're looking at probably the most ready arm behind Kate Anderson. I still would have expected Anderson for sure at that spot, but I do think behind Anderson, if Bremner's slider develops a little bit further, the command and the fastball and the changeup are as league ready as anybody else aside from Anderson.
Well, and I mean, they love their back end guys, and I think he's definitely going to be at least a back end rotation guy, and like
easily.
He's
and then more if
better
the
next year
along.
than Kahanowitz and what they're getting from Kyle Hendricks. So, I don't hate it at all, but yeah, it was definitely a surprise.
I don't know. White Sox. This is a long break. This is interesting.
Elijah, before we keep analyzing the picks, and we should be getting the number 10 pick here soon, but what's your favorite flavor of Chinook seeds?
Favorite flavor, I like the lemon pepper, man. I messed with the lemon pepper. I had them yesterday at the Futures game, which was really sick. I went through an entire half bag of those at the Futures game. Those are crazy good. The Bobby Witt on the front, you just feel like you got Oro when you're eating Bobby Witt seeds, first of all. And they're just delicious. They're great.
We could get all the Oro we need. I don't even know what I just said. We need all the Oro that we can get. And just another reminder.
Billy Carlson, baby. Let's go.
Use code JUSTBASEBALL for 15% off Chinook seeds. Billy Carlson. First reaction, Elijah?
It's the pick. It's the right pick. It's the pick I've been kind of, Carlson or Parker this whole time. It makes so much sense. I think it just is the logical option for the White Sox. You get a guaranteed shortstop in your system. The thing with the White Sox is you've got 2 guys at part of the core in Colson Montgomery and Caleb Bonnemer who profile probably better long-term at third base. Carlson is not that. He is a shortstop, and that's something the White Sox, I don't really think you have a guaranteed shortstop in the system right now. The most important position in the infield in baseball, obviously, getting a guaranteed shortstop with the power projection of Carlson is just the right pick, and I'm happy to see it. I think they could have definitely overthought this and gone with a Jamie Arnold because of their success with lefties, and I'm really glad they didn't.
So
that glove looks smooth,
but that swing is going to need some work.
Yes.
He could be a 7 glove there, but big barrel tip, really coils inward, and then really gets overstrided on the front foot. He's a freak athlete to even be able to pull that off, but that's not a move that's going to work too much. That's a lot more tame, but that's not a move that's going to work too well in professional ball. Like that right there is going to need to be toned down for sure. You see he's already on that front foot before he's even, starting that swing. But the fact that he is such a freak athlete, I think you're going to see that if he can clean that up even slightly, you see the Connor Griffin effect, right? He cleans up some of the loud movements and aspects to his operation that were holding him back. And all of a sudden, he's killing. When you have a twitchy freak like this with the long levers and the ability that he has to impact the game in so many different ways, it's really exciting, but definitely going to need to clean some things up swing wise to be able to have some success. And we'll see. The White Sox, how do you feel about the White Sox ability to potentially get somebody right like that definitely enters pro ball with a need for probably some swing adjustments?
If you asked me 2 years ago, I would have been even more concerned for sure. If you ask me now with a new regime, with there's some guys, Ryan Fuller as the hitting director of hitting within the organization, we've seen Colson Montgomery take that month break this season and come back looking like a much better player. Still not, a top end organization by any means in terms of hitting development, but I do think that there's been a lot of development in the right direction for that within the organization in the past year to year and a half. Particularly, Chris Getz has really overhauled the development, and I do think that there is a path to get him right. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy path. I agree with you. There's still going to need to be some swing reworking there, but I'm willing to bet on that athleticism, bet on the glove, bet on the future of him just kind of figuring it out with time. And I do think that they're better set up than they were. And we've got Jack McMarlin joining now too, Mr. Ava Arquette.
What do you even want?
Get this guy out of here.
What does this guy want?
That pick at 7 was sick, huh?
Yeah.
I want to hype it up, but you're calling us an L stream. Now all I want to do is destroy it.
What's up, guys? I think you guys are doing a great job. I've been watching on YouTube for a little bit.
All right, let's talk Ivar.
I'm sitting in
first reaction.
No. It's great. I love it. Is he Corey Seager already? It's crazy.
So.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool, man. How quick? What?
How quick you think they try to move this guy now?
I don't think it's a matter of speed, man. I don't know.
The contention window is tomorrow.
Number one, the contention window is yesterday. Do you see what they just did to Baltimore today?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
They took such quick work that instead of the pivot to the 6:20 a.m. flight to get to you losers, I made my other flight. Also, I'm delayed by like 3 hours, so I'll see you at 1 a.m. tonight. But
Good.
yeah, it was tough. I just spent the first 4 innings trying to figure out my hotel and airfare situation, and it all just like it's all
you
a
called
moot
me
point
in the
now
middle
because
of
we
the
made it and the fish
broadcast.
are hot.
Really
What I will say
amazing
is
stuff.
I don't know what the urgency looks like in terms of getting him up there to shove it into a window. We talk a lot about college guys being shoved into a window now.
Yeah.
What I will say is they have a shortstop right now in Otto Lopez. If that was more of an identity issue at short, then I could see Arquette climbing very, very quickly. But Ivar Arquette's going to decide how quick he climbs.
What I love about the fit, though, to that point is, Otto looks like he can be that guy that holds it down at shortstop. If Arquette proves that he could stick it short, which I know like people lean towards yes, I'd have to watch a little bit more defensive video to have a fully confident take. I think he can, but there's also a chance he's a big dude. He might grow off of it. If he moves to third, he's got the power to accommodate that move, and he'll probably be an above average defender there. And organizationally, that's definitely a spot where the Marlins, I think, would be happy to have a player too. So you have a guy that's at the very least he's going to stick on the left side of the infield. And I think with that power potential, what he's done in college, and just knowing no matter what, he's sticking on the left side of the infield. I think the Marlins, I mean, they must have been celebrating when they put that pick in.
I'm sure, and it was a little weird because obviously a lot of people liked Willits at 7. If he somehow managed to get to 7,
What can
I
you
was
do?
not expecting 1. I wasn't with you guys. I was still doing the Marlins post game when Willits went 1. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. But no, man, I am really curious to see what the number will come in for with Arquette. This also like this cadence. I'm sure you guys have hit on this, but like this draft cadence is crazy. You have to have a decent
It's
idea
nuts.
of what your first round pick is going to sign for, whether it's slot under, like you got to figure out money quick because you're going to make decisions on these guys, and then obviously there's a little bit of a window that you can play the game within. But I mean, dude, it's fascinating to me to watch how this is all going to go down in one fell swoop, especially tomorrow. Like you have to have a firm idea of how over slot you got to go in like round 5 and round 7. So this whole cadence is fascinating to me.
What do you think of
Jamie
Arnold for
Arnold,
the Athletics?
Jamie
I
Arnold
like
to
it a
the
lot.
A's.
Big
I
leagues
mean,
immediately.
the A's need warm bodies. They need starting pitchers with beating hearts, and Jamie
Yeah.
Arnold has a
He
beating
has
heart.
one.
He's a really good starting pitcher.
Yeah, I think that's a really fun fit. Gage Jump, obviously having success right away professionally, lefty as well. They might have some intriguing arms to add to the fold here. It's pretty exciting.
Jamie is funky. That is just a weird slot to pick up. Look at that.
I feel like the draft fatigue on him was a bit overplayed. I feel like, we had the number 1 talks about him. And then after like the last month of the college season, we get this transition into like, oh, he's not even top 10. This is really good value, in my opinion, at 11. I think that I get part of the reason why he shifted a little with the command ticking down a notch from where it was kind of end of last year, beginning of this season. I still think at 11, this is a very good pick. And for an A's team that needs starting pitching, like you said, he'll be pitching for the A's, if not this year, definitely early 2026.
Elijah, I'm curious too. You said that you really wanted Billy Carlson over Jamie Arnold with the 10th pick. Was that more just the White Sox have been picking a ton of these lefties lately and you just kind of wanted to switch versus like you don't actually like Jamie Arnold? Because it sounds like you do. You just wanted them to go a different direction.
Yes, definitely more just the fact that the White Sox need those upside hitters. And I know you don't draft based on need, but when you've drafted, pitcher after pitcher the past couple of years, sometimes you need to take that prep bat. And I really like Billy Carlson, but that doesn't mean I don't like Jamie Arnold. I do think for the A's, like he will, if it's not crazy to say he could be like one of the better pitchers in the rotation, like next year, pretty much.
Jack, you're raising your hand. What do you want?
Yeah, can I ask a follow-up to Elijah? Did Josue DePaula's 3-run homer against Schultz in the Futures game
Dude, get out of here.
disincentivize a Jamie Arnold pick for the White Sox?
Why
Peyton,
are
can we
you
ban him?
here? Yeah, why are you here? No, I mean, yeah,
Hey,
sure.
I'll
Jack.
catch you guys. I'm gonna run to the airport Chipotle.
We'll see you tonight,
enjoy
Jack.
the stream. I'll be
Bye,
watching.
you too, Jack.
Bye, guys.
See you soon, man. So a little bit on Arnold. I think the big issue for him this year that hurt his stock was one, the weird. I just think the weird step backwards in terms of the command, especially with the fastball. Like he had a 58% strike rate on his 4-seamer, 61% on the sinker. And then trying to throw that splitter, it was a sub 50% strike rate on that. So he was very slider dependent, threw it about 42% of the time. And that pitch is disgusting from his slot. I mean, opponents hit 170 against it, and he landed for a strike again 71% of the time. So to have that pitch going for him is really impressive. But everything else was just really backing up for him, and that's going to need to come along a little bit more. And we'll see, if he's able to improve that. And then there's too many non-competitive pitches as well.
Tyler Jennings with another bomb. He's got the number 12 pick. He's saying that the Rangers are going to select third baseman Gavin Fein and number 12.
Very Josh Youngy. I know that's not the best comp right now, but I do think there's a lot of similarities there where it's a fun blend of like hit and power, I think, at third base. And it just does a lot of things well. I think when you look at him too, can grow into more power. He controls his ABs really well. He's a good feel for the zone. Definitely another guy that probably needs to tone down the barrel tip and he kind of gets a little bit, I think it's just twisted up there, but he's got a quick bat, good feel for the zone, and a guy that I do think ultimately it can do a bunch of things well at third base. It is very Josh Young similar, so I think it makes sense why they'd be interested.
Yeah, no, I think this is a good pick. I think that makes sense for the Rangers. I think this was a pretty commonly mock spot for the Rangers, honestly, to take a prep bat here, and I like it for sure.
Someone in our Discord's related to Fiend. That's awesome.
Really?
That's cool.
Join
our Discord, by the way, too.
If you're not in our Discord, there's not a better baseball chat out there, honestly. You've got pretty much everything for any type of baseball fan, from prospects to betting to MLB draft coverage to sports card coverage. There's just about everything. After the draft, as we get going here for All-Star, definitely going to run a giveaway in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that and hop in the Discord if you're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to have you in there. And that link, where can you find the Discord link? Any podcast episode in the description of that.
Also in our link tree on social, and I'm sure somebody will be able to drop it in the live chat as well.
I'm gonna hop off. I'll be back. We're gonna rotate let you guys cook for a little bit, and then we'll rotate some people in. We got Jared Perkins joining later. We might get Tyler in here. I might come back on later in the round. So we're gonna keep it rolling. You guys are crushing it, and I'll be back in a little bit. But keep going, boys.
Hell yeah, Elijah. Thank you. Aram, I am curious. Gavin Fein.
Somebody asked why I hate the Giants.
You want to answer that?
I don't.
I know you don't.
I'm always
when you're a little bit lower on a team. It happens to me too. I could bet against a team one day, like on a Wednesday. When I don't.
Someone asked for the link to the Discord.
Link here. Let me grab the link while you talk about Gavin Fein, because again, he was 22 on Tyler's big board, and in Tyler's write-up, he's talking about how he had probably the loudest summer of any of these prep guys in the Cape. So obviously the helium just rose and rose and rose. And I'm not saying that, I know exactly where all the high schoolers are going to go, but it is a little bit surprising to see him up here at 12.
Yeah, I think there are some people out there that were really, really high on him. And this is another one where you got to wait and see like what the slot's going to look like or what the signing bonus is going to look like. But at the end of the day, I do really like the potential at third base. And if they like all the tools across the board, and again, think he can kind of be that 50-55s across the board, I think that's not a bad pick. It comes down to the slot, and what they ended up giving him bonus wise, because he's a high school guy, so you're only going to get so much in savings. But at the same time, I think a lot of people, were expecting him to go a little bit later. So I do think this is a guy that I think publicly was probably a little bit lower than what teams we're looking at. And I think it was a good fit for him as well. So I wouldn't be shocked if he saved some money, if they save some money with that pick and grabs a guy that they really did like. So I don't hate it at all. And I can't fully judge it until we see what the bonus is, but assuming they save some money, I like the pick.
So this comes out from Spencer Scott, W Stream, W RM, W Peter.
Wow.
Or is that W Just Baseball? The stream is electric. Really appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
And again, another reminder, if you are enjoying the stream, just hit that like button, share it with your friends, tell your friends that we're live, and keep filling up the comment section. We really, really appreciate it. We're trying to give you guys the best draft stream possible. Who do we think's going number 13, or do you have anything left for the Rangers on this pick?
Uh, nothing left there. I honestly have no idea. I could see them go so many different ways.
You want me to give you best available on Tyler's big board so
Yeah,
far?
what's the best available on Tyler's big board?
So the best available is Kyson Witherspoon. And he also then has Ike Irish next, but basically everybody has been taken. He has Kyson Witherspoon as the number 9 overall prospect, Ike Irish number 11, and I know you love Xavier Nyans.
Yeah, I would love to see them grab Xavier Nines, but I think Witherspoon's a really good fit.
Yeah, you were talking him up earlier.
I mean, he just has a good feel for
Yeah.
an assortment of offerings. I think it would fit for them as just an arm that can move quickly. I'm watching them make the pick right now.
Pick is in, or at least from Joe Doyle, Daniel Pierce. Another prep shortstop. I skipped a pick.
Yeah, you skipped a pick. It's Kylan. I like it, dude. So this guy can freaking hit. This guy can absolutely hit. So you're probably looking at a second baseman, and that's part of the reason why he wasn't, an earlier selection. But when you look at the batted ball data, it's really impressive. You have in zone contact rate north of 90%. The exit velocities are still slightly above average. I'm interested to see, how much he loses with Wood, but guys continue to cut that down, and you can see, I think, guys adding bat speed pretty easily in the professional ranks. Again, I do think he moves to second, and I believe Tyler feels the same way. But when you've got a contact rate in the SEC of 84% and 91% in zone, pretty good approach. The one thing I want to see with him is sliders. Sometimes you can get a little bit overzealous and swing over them, but I do really like the pick. I think this is a potential plus hit tool, a guy that can just put the ball in play hard enough, spray it all over the field. And he's good left on left too. I think all those things make this a really good pick. And the EVs are probably going to be average, maybe slightly above, but 35% ground ball rate. Like, this guy is elevating consistently. I do think he's going to outslug the exit velocities. I like the pick a lot. I would have been surprised if he slipped into the back end of the first round. And I think this is a player that could move through the minor leagues really quickly. There's a lot of volatility in the Giants system, and he is anything but volatile.
So this comes to us from Roman. He said, Kylan, bro, what are we doing? And just a reference on our big board, he is number 14. So while I was mentioning that Kyson Witherspoon, Ike Irish, Xavier Nyans are above him, Kylan is right there at 14. Like, to put it in perspective, he has Tyler Bremner at 13. So again, I want to answer Roman's question because I think this might be why he's a little bit nervous. Can he stick it short?
I don't think so. I think he's going to probably move to second, but this is a really good bat, man. Like, you're getting a guy that could hit, you could be a plus hit tool with 15 to 20 homers, get on base at a good clip, play a good second base. Like, that's a really good player. You're not picking in the top 5. And this isn't, a super, super loaded draft. I think this is a really solid grab for them. I have no issue with the pick. It's super safe. You can push them through the minor leagues really, really quickly. I think it's a good get for them. And I mean, just look at the operation here. It's quick. It's compact. He's hitting the ball in the air at a 65% clip. And when you compare the fact that, okay, it's a lofty swing that's geared for elevation, but you're also not going to whiff a lot in the zone, which he doesn't. It's 91% in zone contact rate. I'm all in on it. I really like the grab as a high floor guy instead of, just throwing a dart at that pick. And I don't think he would have slipped much further than that.
Interesting. So before we get to pick number 14, another reminder, code JUSTBASEBALL for 15% off the best seeds in the world. That is Chinook. Baltimore never takes arms in the first round. We got some more questions coming in, and it is expected that they will select again Daniel Pierce with the number 14 overall pick for the Tampa Bay Rays. And we already got the potential for the Red Sox taking Kyson Witherspoon. So the rumors are already coming in. We'll see. But that comes to us again from Joe Doyle. Let's potentially talk about Daniel Pierce, number 14 overall, to the Tampa Bay Rays when looking at Tyler's big board, 23rd overall. So it potentially could be an underslot pick. What do you think?
I think it's a good fit too. I'm telling you, so far I don't have a lot of qualms. Your pitching development is a strength. Obviously, you've seen that. My one concern with Witherspoon is that fastball is it can I think be a little bit easier to pick up out of the hand. It's like in that short arm delivery that I think is plagued similar. We were talking about it. Yeah, I was talking about it with Peyton actually, and he brought it up too. Like kind of similar to the Jackson Jobe issue, where like it looks like it should be better than it is, but it performed well enough this past year. But the reason why I think he's a great fit is you've got a cutter at 89, a slider at 85, a curveball at 78, changeup that he mixed in at 88. It's a deep bag of pitches, and you got to find a little bit more consistency with the curveball and changeup. But you've got like 5-6 offerings essentially that he can go to here. I think it's a really fun template for a very pitching development driven Red Sox team to work on here, and a guy that they can probably move pretty quickly.
Talking about value again, I want to go back to it. We talked about Arquette with the Marlins potentially being the best value at 7, but now with Witherspoon, number 9 on his big board, maybe we got a new front runner for best value of the draft, Kyson Witherspoon to the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, and we skipped over Daniel Pierce too, right at 14.
Yeah,
the Rays doing their classic high school kind of fire a dart pick. I honestly don't have as much on Pierce. Where was he on Tyler's big board?
That's what I was saying. He's number 23.
Okay.
First sentence, Pierce is a wiry infield prospect who has been renowned for his defensive prowess over the years, but his bat is beginning to turn the corner. It looks like big-time glove, big-time speed, and you're looking to see if the bat can develop. But clearly, right, the Rays think that, or else they wouldn't put him at number 14 overall in this draft.
Yeah. Dude, the Theo Gillen pick, early returns have been really encouraging. They aim high, and it's always interesting to see what they do. I'm very fascinated, but we'll see. I again don't have as much there, but they do a pretty good job in the prep ranks, especially in the South. So it'll be fun to monitor. But yeah, again, we had all this Ike Irish smoke. Where is he gonna go?
Interesting, because you did mention that potentially he would go to the A's, because that kind of makes sense. The A's have been just loading up on bats, but then, of course, they go a different direction. So it looks like, you being a little bit lower than market on him, it's not like you're like, oh, this guy's never going to work. You just didn't think he was worthy of being a top 10 pick, right? You thought that maybe he would go middle end of the first round, and it looks like that's where he's going to go. So it's no slight to Ike Irish. You just weren't buying into the smoke early. No,
and it's interesting though, just because so many teams were being floated as like, oh, they could underslot him, or they could underslot him, or they could underslot him. So that was the part that made it kind of interesting to me. But it's now in where we're looking at this part of the draft. Like, I could see maybe the Twins. It could fit the bill for them. They like the power guys. They're going to be a little bit more patient with swing and miss. But yeah, now is where it gets really, really interesting. Everybody and their moms mocked what he will alloy to the Cubs, which makes me think there's zero chance it happens.
Zero chance. It does. It is a perfect fit because it is kind of their MO. They love to draft the college guy.
But they like better hitters. So like I do wonder if that's why it also just seems like not the best like fit in terms of the type of hitters they usually draft.
Let's go back to Kyson Witherspoon a little bit, because I'm pretty sure it was announced that we're trying to figure out, did Witherspoon, he went 15, or are the Red Sox still on the clock? Because I don't think it's been officially announced yet. That just seems to be the rumor. So I kind of want to wait until it's actually official.
But yeah, it seems like that's probably going to be the pick. And again, I really do like the assortment of secondaries that you're getting with a guy like him in that fit organizationally.
Where would he rank for you among all the other pitchers so far drafted, between, Cade and Bremner and Arnold and Seth Hernandez? Because I'm pretty sure he's the 5th pitcher off the board, if my memory is serving me correctly.
I would say Cade.
Oh, and Doyle as well. So it would be number 6. Still on the clock. Thank you, Alex.
I would put him right behind, probably 4th. I'd probably put him 4th.
4th. Would you have Cade number 1?
Cade 1. Seth 2.
Seth 2.
Then 3. probably Doyle and four Witherspoon. Who am I missing?
Bremner.
Yeah,
And,
I do like Witherspoon more than Bremner. I really do.
And Arnold as well.
And Arnold, I think goes behind them. I'm a little bit nervous about the data. I've heard a lot of hate on Eloy for hitting. He had 22 bombs and 1,100 OPS. Yeah, but the thing
college
is
numbers,
college numbers you got to take with a grain of salt. You got to look more at, and I know it's not publicly available data for the most part, and that's part of the reason why. But like, I think a big detractor is going to be the swing and miss. Like when you are chasing and swinging and missing he chased fastballs north of a 30% clip. His in zone contact rate was south of 80%. I think it's tough, to get super bullish on a guy like that. He could just have enough power and make it work. But when the swing decisions are fringy and the contact rate is fringy, you're putting a lot of pressure on the ability to slug there and of course continue to make an impact at shortstop. There's no doubting the numbers were great. There's no doubting that the power is crazy legit. But there's a lot of whiff against secondaries too. That
I think
it's pretty concerning.
Also, definitely no guarantee sticks at shortstop either.
Yeah,
which I think could be somewhat of a concern. By the way, it is official. Red Sox going with Kyson Witherspoon with the 15th overall pick. I think this is a slam dunk pick by the Red Sox. You said it yourself. He's one of your favorite pitchers in this draft, and I obviously trust you. But from the little I've seen from him, that fastball just jumps. Peyton, can we get his highlights back up? I could watch this fastball over and over again. I know he's got good breaking balls, but that fastball just jumps out of his hand.
Yeah, look at that. Woo.
It's a riser, just shing.
And then everything tunnels off of that. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, dude.
So which 1930s pitcher does he remind you of? Walter Johnson?
Any 1930s hitter would convulse after seeing that. But I mean, the tunnel from there, like even his bad pitches that back up, he's freezing guys. But when you can set the tone with that fastball and it's like that short arm release, I think it either could play to his advantage or disadvantage. I'm really interested to see that, but it seems like so far has been the advantage, and it seems like it's really tough for hitters to pick it up out of the hand. Sounds like Gage Wood to the Cubs, they're saying, but who's going to the Twins first? People are getting it's crazy.
I have the 28th pick if you want it. We'll just get way ahead of ourselves. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen any reports for the next pick in the draft, which is the Minnesota Twins at 16. Are you saying 17 is already being floated?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's just crazy. Absolutely.
Can we find out what the Twins are doing? So, per Joe Doyle a minute ago, he thinks it's Merrick Houston, shortstop out of Wake with a phenomenal glove.
Oh my gosh, elite glove. I mean, look, they went with the lower offensive ceiling pick perceived to be, in Kalen Culpepper last year, a guy that slipped, and why are you calling me?
You're calling me. That's what I just got a ring that you're calling me.
You were calling me?
No, you were calling me.
That's so weird. I have a missed call from you.
I have a missed call from you.
I have a missed call from you.
Look.
What the fuck? That's so weird.
I don't even have I might have called you. It might have been me. I haven't touched my phone. All I'm looking at is rumors.
Well, anyways. What were we talking about before you called?
We're talking about Merrick Houston. We're talking about how good of a glove Merrick Houston has. Yeah.
They went like lower offensive ceiling from with Culpepper, and he's added more impact. He's been really good in Double-A, and I think with Houston, as you mentioned, elite glove, so he's going to stick it short. But I think some of the reason why he wasn't viewed as a top 15 pick was that, and maybe had a little bit of slipping as the draft approached some, was because of the fact that it is such light impact for a 6'3", 205-pound hitter. But the field of hit's good. It was 89% in zone contact rate. But when you look at the 90th percentile exit velocity, we're taking the top 10% of his batted, or the top 10% of his EVs, and it was only 101 miles per hour. That's with metal. I mean, there's a chance that could be 30 grade power. I know he hit 15 home runs. It's a bandbox there. There's some concern that it would be 30 grade power. But if it's 30 grade power with 60 hit and 60, 70 glove at short, that's still a really good player if the plate discipline translates. You're putting a lot of pressure on the hit tool fully translating, but I think at this stage of the draft, it's not the worst thing.
It also
We'll
might be a
see.
60. It also might be a 60-70 run. I mean, he had a 4.15 to first base.
Yeah.
And, I know at Wake Forest it's easy to hit there, but if the glove is fantastic and the speed is there, slashing 326, 434, 516, if they think he can even hit a little bit, this is probably a big leaguer.
Yeah. I mean, the floor is so high. Yeah.
Yeah.
At worst, he's like a utility infielder.
I like the pick.
And that's why I'm never going to hate those kind of picks where it's a high floor. At worst, he's a guy that's going to fill in to the infield. Now they're saying Ethan Conrad to the Cubs.
Interesting.
Where was he on Tyler's big board?
So Merrick Houston was at 17. Who was the pick that you just named?
Ethan Conrad.
Ethan Conrad, 28.
Wow.
So I also, before we break into Ethan Conrad, I want to talk about just best available on Tyler's big board again. So with Witherspoon gone, it's still Ike Irish at 11, Xavier Nyans at 12. Gavin Keelan went, Gage Wood still available. So Irish, Nyans, and Wood, but the rumor is Conrad, who is at number 28 on Tyler's big board.
So Conrad, what was the injury? I got to pull that up, but missed some time this year. When he was on the field, shoulder. When he was on the field, the data is nasty. So the Cubs have nailed the draft with their hitters. There's just no doubting it. And you look at, it's a small sample. It's 21 games. Hit a 1224 OPS. This dude put up some impressive data points. It's low effort. He's a big, powerful dude, 6'3", 220. Man, does he mash.
Mm-hmm.
I am very interested to see. I didn't get a chance to look at much of him, and that's the one tough part is we haven't seen him play too much this year. But in those 21 games, it was 92% in zone contact rate and a 90th percentile of 105 miles per hour. Albeit, that's a lot of the early season schedule where you're playing Long Island and Marist and St. John's and Princeton, but still, I mean, you got to hit the ball. And
he hit 385 on the Cape. 385 on the Cape.
Yeah, that'll play. And then he had a stretch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games where he homered 5 times, and that was in the start of ACC play. Mm-hmm. And they were playing him in center field too. Dude, the Cubs do well in the draft. I didn't have much on him, but just even looking at some of the data points now, this is a fun addition potentially. And also, don't doubt the Cubs.
Can I admit something? Watching those highlights, he should have been picked earlier. And I know they're highlights, and I know that's overreacting.
The shoulder, I'm sure, played a part in it.
Yeah.
And then just not having a sample of him against, more challenging competition outside of the Cape, though. But he balled on the Cape. That the Cubs do love, as Max said, the Cubs do love guys that performed on the Cape. And that may have been more important to them, right? And you still got a hot start to the season off of the Cape. I think this is a really fun, interesting ad. I want to get some of the. Let me pull up some of the Cape data there.
Yeah, while you do that, another reminder, guys, if you are enjoying this live stream, we're trying to bring you the best draft live stream possible. Best way to support it, again, all for free. Just hit the like button. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And be on the lookout because tomorrow Arm and I are going to be recording a draft first round kind of first reaction as well as a home run derby preview. So we're going to be recording that at about 10 in the morning. So that'll come out probably late in the morning East Coast time. So for all you West Coasters, you'll be waking up to it. But that's our plan. But again, best way to support this stream. And of course, we are presented by Chinook Seedery, the best sunflower seeds in the world. And you can use code JUSTBASEBALL for 15% off. And when I say best seeds in the world, I mean that. I don't think that's their slogan. I'm telling you, they are the best seeds in the world. So make sure to go get yourself a pack or 2 or maybe more, because I know I am. Code JUSTBASEBALL for 15% off. Tell us about that data on the Cape.
Yeah, I mean, the EVs obviously took a little bit of a hit, but also the EVs jumped more in the early going this year, so probably added a lot of strength in the fall leading into the season. But in zone contact rate of 90% on the Cape, hit 350 plus out there. you imagine they saved a lot of money with that pick as well. I think if they saved a good bit, and we'll find out what the bonus is, but like if they saved a good chunk there, that's going to allow the Cubs to cook a little bit more later on. I don't hate it at all, especially I'm assuming medicals didn't concern them. Go from there, but did put the ball on the ground a little bit too much. But then you look at what he did in the early going before getting hurt this year, cut that ground ball rate a little bit more, and then hit those 7 home runs in 21 games. So I think they probably saved a good amount of money. And then it's like this is another one of those picks where you can't judge it until you see what they did or what they do with the subsequent picks. So I'm eager to see what they do.
Do you see any rumors on the next pick?
Let me dial up the phone right now and check it out. But I almost wish that people would slow down a little bit.
I know.
I
want to try to enjoy the chaos. Tyler Bremner goes 2, and I'm like, holy shit, look at this. And then Kate Anderson immediately at 3. I feel like I can't.
I said get ready for Willett's like top 2. I didn't think 1. What I'm really excited to see now is what do they do with 18, or what do the Orioles do at 19 now that they have the biggest bonus pool essentially, and they could underslot there. They have 2 more picks in the next 15. It's going to be fun to see what they do. I think they could go a lot of different ways. I'll tell you what, if I were in their situation, I would consider underslotting Laviolette and
too.
And volume shooting and going for some other guys later on using those savings. But
because Jace Laviolette, he was projected to go number 1 like before the college baseball season started. It was like a way too early 2025 mock draft because the power is just stupid. I mean, he's 6'6", 240, huge body who can play a corner outfield spot. And I think even if he's a 40 hit tool, if you have 70 power, that's a real hitter that the Orioles can get middle to the late first round. You could potentially underslot him too. I totally agree with you. Jace Laviolette, I think, would be a home run pick here, both figuratively and literally for the Baltimore Orioles.
And he can defend a little bit in the corner. Like it's worth a shot. I know he whiffs a ton. He whiffs a ton, but the power upside is there. I think you could make the same case with Eloy. Take a shot there. I just don't think you may not save as much.
I'd rather get Laviolette.
I would rather take a shot on Laviolette.
What about Irish? Because now at this point in the draft, right? You didn't say that. You just thought you shouldn't go 7 or 9.
No, this is like Irish range.
But question to you now too: would you go Laviolette or would you go Ike Irish?
At that point, I think I go Ike Irish. Go Ike Irish. But what's crazy too is going into the MLB draft, our friends at BetMGM, they had a over under Ike Irish 8.5. What pick you would go?
A lot of steam.
Crazy. And then it looks like Case and Cunningham to the Dbacks, another team that always takes my favorite swings. Last year it was Slade Caldwell and Waldschmidt. This year it's Case and Cunningham. It's a similar to conversation to JoJo Parker, but I think even more extreme, where he's definitely not going to play shortstop. I don't even think he plays third. It's probably second base, but I love the swing. I absolutely love the swing. It's probably one of my favorite swings in the draft. It's a really simple, smooth operation, great adjustability in the box, and spray the ball hard to all fields, but he's got that air pull ability as well. I am a big fan of his swing and everything that he's got going. I thought he could easily be a top 15 pick. So I think you look at what they did last year. It seems like the Diamondbacks prioritize in a lot of ways just the swings that they like, and this is a swing I absolutely like. I think it's a really sound offensive profile, but there is pressure on the bat, and I think they know that there's a ton of pressure on the bat, but at the same time, it's worth a shot at this range, and it's a fun get.
And also the Diamondbacks have been crushing it. Like, to your credit, you're talking about your favorite swings. All those guys that they've been drafting are working. I mean, we saw Slade Caldwell, in the futures game. So they're drafting another, potentially one of your favorite swings. If you're a Diamondbacks fan, you should be pretty happy. But that, again, what can we do? We're already getting brought over to the 19th pick. It seems like it's going to be Ike Irish. That seems what the Orioles are going to do. And I think, again, right, we were talking about Jace Laviolette being a good fit, potentially underslotting him. But the fact is that Ike Irish is still there. They had to pick him up, and they have so much money to play with. I'm so interested to see what they continue to do throughout the draft. But, I know you're a little bit lower on the stick with Irish, but, in college, I mean, this guy was just a straight up masher. The only problem is a lot of ground balls.
Mm-hmm.
I think his swing, at least that's what Tyler was saying in the write-up, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on his swing. That, it's one of those kind of even planes. Again, I'm not great at breaking down swing dynamics, so I want you to cut in here. But basically, the swing is more conducive to line drives and ground balls, which is not exactly ideal.
No, it's flatter for sure, and I think there's some unique aspects to his swing. I think could make it hard to stay in the zone against breaking balls. He hammered fastballs, like absolutely demolished them. He hit 455 with a 1380 OPS against fastballs. But that almost adds to some of the concern because that flatter path, you're not going to have the same amount of barrel depth, and it's going to be tough, I think, to hit secondaries consistently and hit them well. When you look at it, his ground ball rate against secondaries, 56% this past year. But that said, you're getting a guy with plus power, the hard hit rate of 57% at the 19th selection. This is where I thought he should go, and that's where he goes. So I don't think you can knock the pick or anything like that because you're getting a guy that, there was obviously some interest for him in the first half of this draft, and they get a power left-handed hitting bat that, if it all works, can hit 25 plus, it can hit 30 maybe. It's plus EVs, but there's some cleaning up that needs to be done mechanically. The thing is the Orioles have had a lot of success in doing that, especially with the power, over hit guys. So I do think that that's very possible. But one of the big numbers I look at is the ball in play percentage of against breaking balls. And he only put about 12% of breaking balls in play. The contact rate in the zone was about 77% against him. So he's going to need to find the path that's going to set him up for more success there. But it's interesting. It's a solid get.
It's a good question here from Spencer Scott in the chat on YouTube. And again, keep filling it up, folks, with all of your questions. We'll try and answer as many as we can. And again, if you are enjoying the stream, make sure to hit that like button and share with your friends. Aram, does Jace's ability to stick in center make you consider him over Ike Irish, who is likely a corner? I'm going to quickly answer just one part of this. Jace Laviolette in center? I don't think so.
Yeah, there's a shot. Like he's athletic, and I think whoever drafts him they're gonna put the card in as a center fielder. I think it adds to the intrigue. But the thing is, it's the Laviolette whiff, man. Like it's significant. So you have some unprecedented swing and miss numbers for a first round pick that I just think is going to buck draft models. Like it's going to adjust them. It's going to test them too much. And I think at the end of the day, the Orioles are one of the more model driven teams with their drafting. And I just think the contact rates were too low for it to be justifiable for them. And they go with a guy that still has big power, but with a little bit less of the swing and I would say a lot less of the swing and miss concern. Yes, you're giving up a little bit of the defensive ability, but if you think Laviolette's going to end up slowing down anyways, at the end of the day, either of these guys are going to have to mash to reach their potential. Take the guy that's going to have a better chance to mash enough. And that's what they do here, where the swing and miss is not as much of the issue. It's more of the spray, which I think is a lot more fixable.
Good question here from Kyle. How different are Spencer Jones and Jace Laviolette?
Not that different. I wouldn't say that different. Jones is a better athlete. Say Laviolette. I think that's about it. Jones is a better athlete. So I don't think they're crazy different. I'm interested in I haven't checked on the swing decisions. That's out of it because the ability to recognize spin is not the best. And I think Laviolette's ability to recognize spin is better, but I haven't seen Laviolette tested by AA spin yet. So that would be the one aspect.
So it looks like at number 20, the Brewers are going to be selecting Tennessee, listed first base, third base, but I don't think he could play third. And I think he could play a fringe first base. Andrew Fisher, though, he rakes. One of my favorite college bats to watch. And Tyler was breaking it down in, his write-up that once he transferred, because, he was chasing a lot. The swing rate was really high, but that the chase rate fell below 20% and the results followed. I mean, this guy just absolutely pillaged baseballs. I think this is a great get by the Brewers, and I'm so excited selfishly when a bat that I really like gets drafted by a team as smart as the Brewers. I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I mean,
all that happens. I just feel good.
I mean, they do a really good job. So they don't care as much about, I think the positional aspect if they really, really like a bat. Like, and we saw so many people were concerned about Blake Burke, like, oh, you're getting just like a first base profile. But the guy mashes, and he's looked really good. And now they get another Tennessee first baseman, even if he can't play, third base or wherever they're going to put the card in for, he mashes. And it's a good enough field to hit with plus power at the right angles as well. And that's the biggest thing is like, they're not going to take guys that I think put the ball on the ground a little bit more. They're going to take those hard hitting, high air EV guys. And it was a 27% ground ball rate this year for Fisher with plus EVs and average contact rates. That's going to play. And they don't care as much sometimes about the positional aspect when they really believe in the bat. And I'm telling you, I think one of the organizations that is the best at identifying and developing bats really likes this guy's swing and offensive ability for a reason. I think they think he can be an absolute monster offensively if they're taking him here. And I don't disagree.
And on Tyler's big board, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're getting great value just because Tyler has him at number 21. What? I bet they save money too.
A good amount of money.
And again, this is pick number 20, and on his big board, it's 21. Just to let everybody know who on his big board has yet to be taken: Vahiva Aloy, Jace Laviolette, and Gage Wood, and Xavier Nines as well. Are you a little bit surprised, Xavier Nines, or maybe it was just a lot of money?
Yeah, I'm not too shocked. It's a long levered power high school third baseman. So in the Pacific Northwest, like it's sometimes those guys are going to be a little bit, I think lesser coveted. I do think that we could see Houston go there. I do think we can see some of these next few teams potentially go there. I'm sure the picks are already out though, and it's not that yet. But I love what the Brewers have been doing with these mashers. I think it ends up really working out for you, and even more reason I think they should maybe trade one of these mashers. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens next. I think Nines is, in my opinion, the best player available, but we'll see because the Braves will probably go with a pitcher. Houston could do anything. I think Houston could be the one that goes Nines if that pick isn't already circulated the entire planet, but we'll see.
So it comes to us from AD. What's a decent current day comp for Fisher? I'm curious. I will say, again, this is not a perfect comp, and I know Arm doesn't even like to do this, but I just want to throw it out there because when I was watching him at Tennessee, this is who he kind of reminded me of. Now, Fisher doesn't have the plate discipline of this guy, but when I'm imagining what the power could end up looking like, I think about a guy like Max Muncy, right? Because Max Muncy isn't an enormous human being, but he could still get to 35 home runs. And, it's 6'1", 210, big bat like that. Again, plate discipline, Muncy is better. And Fisher, I mean, if he could become Max Muncy, that would be incredible at this spot in the first round. But I will say when I was watching him at Tennessee, that's kind of the first bat that came to mind. That was the only reason I kind of wanted to answer that question.
I mean, you'd be thrilled with that kind of outcome. I think the Brewers are hoping he can make a little bit more contact, and maybe the power is not, as immense as that, but I think maybe a little bit more well-rounded of a hitter, but and probably not as much power, but who knows? I'm interested to see, what his development track looks like. Is the Houston pick out yet?
Let's see. I don't think so, or at least I haven't seen anything.
I'm excited though. This is going to get really interesting.
Yeah.
The first reply to my headline of or to my report on Kate Anderson, Angels are so stupid. LMAO has 41 likes. Yeah.
Something Uncle Ted
the Astros might be tight-lipped here. Oh, or are they going Jace?
That'd be cool if they went Jace. But no,
I mean, they're whip tolerant. Think about Bryce Matthews, who just got up to the big leagues, big time whip. They're okay with it. Jace gives you a little bit more defensive value. I wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Same with Eloy.
Yeah.
I think this is a team that may be okay with either of the higher whiff guys.
Interesting. Do you think they go bat over a pitcher right now? Because it does seem, I mean, this part of the draft just
they should go
littered
Nyans.
with
They
bat.
should go Nyans, but that's just my thing. I don't know. I would go Nyans here. I don't think you should fall any further. But we'll see.
The best pitcher left on Tyler's big board right now, if anybody's looking at potential arms to be drafted, Gage Wood would be here too. So be interesting to see if they go with the bat or if they potentially go with Gage Wood. But someone in our chat is saying, yes, they picked Nyans.
They know ball.
They
know ball.
The Houston Astros are selecting Xavier Nyans with the 21st overall pick. You got to be fired up for that.
Yeah, well, why go with one of the college power swing and miss guys when you can go with a high school guy who may project to have as much, if not more, power, and you have more time to maybe develop the hit tool. And I like the swing mechanics in Nyans, especially relative to his age and where he's at, as much, if not more, than those other guys. So I think it's making a little bit more sense of the way that this is kind of slipped through. And I think you want to go highest upside as well, where you could have maybe justified the Laviolette thing. But again, it's a pretty unprecedented level of whiff for a first round pick. So if you look at a bad farm system playing the highest upside you can play here, I would go with a Nyans like that. So I like it. I mean, that's, as you know, I had him closer to the top 10 in this class. So it's an exciting get, I think, if you're an Astros fan.
Peyton, can we put those highlights back on? I just kind of want to stare at his swing a little bit longer. That's a beautiful swing arm.
Long levers while also keeping his weight back. And I mean, that's hard to do, man. A lot of these guys, when you are a young, long levered hitter, it can get really hard to keep the weight back and control your and just be balanced, right? Like that looks Harper-ish, and people throw that around way too much. This guy is a monster, man. Like this guy has a special swing from the left side. So I really don't know why he was not more highly touted out of this class. And I think he, as far as I'm concerned, one of the better picks so far.
Also, we're getting text, slow down a little bit. We're way ahead of the draft.
Yeah, but everyone knows.
Everyone knows. That's the only problem. So we're just trying to get out in front of it. I wonder. So right now,
sir, we broke that, but thank you.
Shout out Arm. He did break that. He
I'm sure somebody else tweeted it and didn't give us credit or something. But it's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay, Arm. Let's go after him. Let's send the whole mob after them. Credit. Elijah, text me. What pick are we even on?
21. We're on that Astros Nyans pick.
Oh, we're on the Astros Nyans pick. So we're not too fast. We're not too fast ahead. It's 1:52 a.m. and I'm watching the MLB draft. Yeah, it's kind of impossible not to spoil picks here.
It's pretty impossible.
But we're getting excited. So again, let's take another look at the big board. Best name left. Because Nyans just went, Irish has gone. Gage Wood would be the number one guy on his big board, and then Jace Laviolette is still sitting there as well.
Yeah. Now I'm interested. The Royals just go Cags and Laviolette would be pretty fun.
That would be sick.
That would be very, very fun.
But I wonder if they go jump though. Jace Laviolette and Mason Neville. Has that been announced as well?
I'm sure everybody knows.
Good time to tell you about our friends at Chinook Seedery. Remember code JUSTBASEBALL for 15% off the best seeds in the world. I'm going to go grab myself some cinnamon toast after this. But I'm having a blast. Are you having fun? I mean, this is the MLB draft, dude. I'm so happy to be here. I'm
enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to catch up on. Oh, yeah, there was a tweet with that. He probably didn't see it, but.
Welcome on Taylor Greenhut. What's going on, man? We just saw you at Cards HQ. We're chopping it up about the Braves. Braves pick is coming up here soon. Who do you want?
Oh, man. Everyone knows that we're
probably going pitcher. I'll be real, but there's something in me that I want that curveball of position player, high school, prep, college. It would be very nice to see the curveball come for once. But hey, pitcher, you can never have enough pitchers, as we're seeing right now with the Braves.
Is there a pitcher you got your eyes on? Is it Gage? Is it Gage Jump? Or no, Gage?
Yeah, I mean, you would. Yeah, Gage Woods would be the guy. I mean, how can you not after you see a no hitter in college? It's very impressive. I know there's some current concerns about the shoulder, and I don't like shoulder injuries for pitchers, but right now Gage would be the number one guy on my board if we go pitcher, of course.
So funny. I said Gage Jump. I got the futures game on my mind. Gage Wood. That was one of the best performances that I have ever seen, period. College, MLB.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And that helium has just risen him up draft boards. And he does feel like kind of a Braves pick. But maybe they swing for the fences and go Laviolette. You never know.
There's something in me that I would love to see that just power bat outfielder. I mean, we could use another outfielder right now. So even a DH. So I would take it. I know there's some concerns about this past season as well, but after seeing him, step on the field with a broken hand, still hit some
that was
bombs,
badass.
I'm down for that. He's got that dog in him. I'm in.
100%. Is there anybody else that you'd be eyeing? Like we mentioned Wood, we mentioned Laviolette. You talked to yourself about some potential prep guys. Do you have a wish list?
I would say Josh Hammond. I'm kind of excited about him. I know he's a two-way guy. Last two-way guy we had, Austin Riley, who was more so in the field. I would say, I don't know where he's going to play. He's coming in at a shortstop. Probably profiles at third, but that's a problem for later on.
Seems like the pick might be in. Arm, did you see what Joe Doyle just tweeted?
I haven't seen it yet. I was just catching up on some stuff.
All right.
Tate? Who is this?
Oh, so the scene. They went Tate to the scene?
Tate
yes.
to the scene.
Yes, wow.
He's one of like four brothers.
That's not a guy.
Play baseball.
That is not a guy I was expecting.
At all.
That's not really their MO. Where is he on the big board?
That's what I'm trying to find. Like, give me 1 second. 57.
Wow. That's got to be a big savings pick, I feel like.
Yeah, it's got to be. We usually do go like under slot, mostly pitcher on the first, so we can save some for those later rounds, but was not expecting an under slot shortstop here.
What's the Braves bonus pool situation?
That I do not know off the top of my head. But I do know that.
I feel like they don't. Yeah. I guess there probably was nobody that jumped out to them. I would have been surprised. Them going big whiff, like risky bat there. It just doesn't seem like it fits their bill, and the way they are with medicals, and being a little bit more careful makes sense to be a little bit skeptical with an arm there. Then all of a sudden, it drops off. There's not a lot of other arms I think that you would be super eager about that fit the Braves MO. So I think it does make sense to go money saving pick here and then overslot with their next selection, which is where
I believe it's 42 jumps out to me, but somewhere around there. Yeah.
So that they'll buy a guy down and get two top 50 talents. It makes sense, but it is not the operation I'd necessarily be looking at in terms of a swing for a first round pick. I do.
I will say that it's a refreshing change. Sometimes change is good. We're breaking away from that model of, I think it's like 7 straight years of a pitcher in the first round. So I think the fans have been calling for it. Go shortstop, and we did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out more information on this guy.
Yeah, honestly, he is not someone that was on my board at all. So I do not have much information about him.
6 foot 170, and again, I'm referencing Tyler Jennings' big board again, which you can find on JUSTBASEBALL.com. Not a physically imposing player in the box at 6 foot 170, but his athleticism, sheer rotational force, and bat speed help him stand out. Relax, close stance at the plate, low hand set, and his hands move violently through the zone, helping him create the bat speed he's known for. Aram, when just taking glances at this swing, what do you think?
Yeah, I can see that. But honestly, I think
you want to throw Peyton. You want to throw those highlights back on the screen.
It's almost like a little over rotating to a degree where like you can see him kind of leaving with that front side early, but it's because it's probably such an explosive part of his swing. The levers are long, and I think that's where you can dream on some power as he just cleans some things up mechanically. But Yeah, it's an unorthodox swing for
Yeah.
that early in the draft, but I mean, yeah, look at even how the barrel
Yeah,
kind of
that's
moves at contact.
yeah.
It's because it's dragging behind his body. But I won't totally doubt the Braves. And this is, again, as I'm always going to say, when you go underslot, which they must have saved a shitload with this
Mhm.
pick, I can't judge it until I see what they do with the next pick.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden they might buy a dude down. If they get like a Bodine or whoever the heck somehow that they buy down at 42, then you can't say it's a bad pick.
100%.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's a lot of our first round picks sometimes don't perform. But if you look at our history, especially recently, we have a lot of guys in those mid rounds that just pop, and you wonder how they fell so far in the draft.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Taylor, really appreciate the time, my friend.
Awesome.
I think we got
We got Jared coming on for the Royals pick.
Yeah, we got
Mhm.
Jared coming on for the Royals pick, and it was already announced. So Taylor, really appreciate the time.
Yes.
And remember, everybody listening, go check out Taylor's work covering the Braves on justbaseball.com. Thanks for the time,
Sir,
Taylor.
thank you guys.
Absolutely. So we should be joined by Jared Perkins, who just did mock draft 3.0 with me. Jared, it was an awesome time, and it does seem like Sean Gamble,
Yeah.
pick number 23.
This
First
is what
reaction.
I was hearing right before our last mock, that they were going to go prep high school outfielder and a premier college arm at 23 and 28. So
Interesting.
Gamble's a guy they went with. I mean, he's the best pure athlete probably in this class.
Really?
I'm pretty solid on this. This is a really, really good pick for them. And if they could potentially save a little bit of money here, just depending on what his ask is, but I like it.
What would have been maybe the next best pick for you?
Josh Hammond. That's the guy that's kind of been rumored circles around the Royals. So he's the guy I thought they might go right here. And then Jace Lavaliette, there's been some rumors that the Royals really like him as well.
I could have seen that, right?
Yeah.
That would have made a little bit of sense. Having him and Cags is just in the same organization would be fun. But I mean, this is a twitchy hitter here. It's a quick, compact swing. And what do you got on the glove and just the other aspects of his game? Because I mean, it's pretty easy to like that operation in the box.
Yeah, it's really loud arm strength out in the outfield. He's got the tools to potentially stick in center field too. So I think that's what you're looking for. I believe that he's more of like an above average or better outfielder right now, but he has a potential to really to take the tools to the next level with the athleticism.
Were they ever rumored to go pitcher, or it felt like they were definitely going bat here?
I think they were rumored to go pitcher at least one of these first two picks. So they could still do it at pick 28.
Do you think they will, or do you think they stick with the bats?
I don't know. I mean, if Josh Hammond falls there, maybe take your shot and take two big upside prep guys here at 23 and 28 since you got the money to spend. But if they're going to go an arm like Gage Wood, Riley Quick, some of those names right there might. But I know I've heard there's some things on medicals around those guys. They both had injuries in the past, so you're kind of worried about what those could be.
So, Jared, you've been working with Tyler on the big board. You've done plenty of mock drafts. I want to talk more about the Royals pick with you, but I'm really curious about some of your initial thoughts from the draft altogether, because it's been pure chaos. And I feel like the draft is going so fast. I feel like we're already 12 picks ahead. Yeah. I haven't been able to sit in the chaos. So sit in the chaos with me for a second.
Man, like I was texting Elijah about this. I was like, this is going way too fast. It feels like, I don't know if it's because I have like the comp round second and third today and they're just trying to get through all of it. But man, every pick is just rolling in. It's nuts.
And so, I mean, Bremner at 2, Eli Willits at 1. First reaction.
I mean, I think if you look at our latest mock, we probably got 0 out of 0 picks so far. So doing solid.
Did anyone get any picks right, though, to be fair?
I don't think so. I don't remember a board having Eli. So I think Joe Doyle actually in his latest mock had Eli Willits at number 1.
Really? Good for Joe Doyle. That's a great shout.
Yeah. So I was listening to his podcast this morning and he was like, I decided to go against the industry and see what happens.
Yeah.
Basically. And it worked.
Good for him.
But man, I like the pick by the Nats with Eli at number 1. I know everybody's talking Cade and Ethan, but Tyler talked about this on the latest pod. Like that's a potential 3 to 4 win player, like right off the bat. Like the floor and like ceiling combo with him, man. Like that. I know the power. There's some questions around that, but he can grow into it. I don't know. I feel like that was the safest pick you could make, and they get to save some money probably with that pick.
What about Bremner too?
Yeah, that one shocked me. I think I didn't think he was going to fall into the mid part of this draft, like the 10 to 15 range. I thought that's for sure where he was going to go. I think we heard a lot around the athletics in Tyler Bremner, and of course they get Jamie Arnold now, which is you got to be happy if you're, or I guess not Oakland, you're the Athletics.
No city designation as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but Bremner, man, I mean, it's the best changeup in the class besides maybe Seth Hernandez. It's a pretty polished arm. The fastball looked really good in USA Collegiate over the summer last year, but this year it kind of took a step back. But if they can get something out of that fastball, I mean, that's a legit floor right there.
Love it. Any other parting words on the Royals as well? Because I want you to stick on for this next pick because it looks like the Tigers pick may be in selecting Jordan Yost, shortstop, prep guy.
I'm curious what the Royals are going to do here. I like the gamble pick. Just curious what they're going to do next. I don't know if they're going to go outfield bat again if they wouldn't just prep here and take like a Jace if he falls there at 28, or if they're going to try to like overspend on like a Josh Hammond.
What do you think about the Tigers pick here, Jordan Yost?
This one I actually don't know. I have to look this. He's 75 on our board.
Yeah, he's pretty down there. He's number 74.
I think I know why they're doing this. They're going to pay up somebody in the second round at 44.
Yeah.
We've been hearing some rumors about that. And if it's true, I think they're going to try to spend a ton of money here in the second round.
Aram, that's what you've been saying with some of these teams. It's like you can't judge this pick until you see what they do with the next one.
No, yeah, especially in a draft like this. Because at this range, I mean, there's a lot of players that I think they could probably say are, there could be a batch of 30 players that they all think are kind of in the same future value tier. Well, if you can save some money here and get another guy a little bit later and you're able to get a pair instead, maybe you didn't think that was going to fall to you. You buy him down a little bit. I can't fully judge the pick until they go with the other guy and see what it looks like. But that sounds like it would be probably the biggest savings so far, right, Jared? I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah, I have to. Well, who's the last one you were talking about, right? The Braves with Tate Southstein. I mean, that was a guy I was like, I liked him, but I didn't think he was going to go up in the first round.
Yeah. Would you say that's going to be a bigger savings pick or Yost?
Probably Yost. Yeah, I think I agree with you on Yost.
He looks small. he looks young.
6 foot, 170.
Yeah,
There's
wiry.
There's a good question here from Darren Taylor in the YouTube chat. And again, guys, keep filling it up. If you guys keep filling up the chat, we'll go through the entirety of the first round, even to pick number 40, if people want us to keep going. So let us know if you want us to keep going to pick number 40. Are you more surprised that Gage Wood is falling or Jace Laviolette?
Probably Gage Wood, because even before that start, I think he was in the lower half of the 40s for us. And there's been some medical issues or questions about injuries in the past with him. And so that's probably why he's fallen so much. I don't know if teams just aren't seeing what they want to see in the medicals for him, or if it's just they're kind of eyeing other guys outside of Gage Wood. Laviolette, it's kind of given why he fell, right? He had just an awful year after having one of the best years prior to that. And he was going to be potential 1-1 overall, dealt with all the pressure. Peter, we talked about this on the mock, dealt with all that pressure of Texas A&M kind of struggling and not playing well and pressing and trying to do too much with both the draft implications and Texas A&M's like postseason on the line. And the swing and miss was just awful. And so I think that's the big reason why he keeps falling here.
What do you think is at what point is it a really good value pickup for a Jace? Is it in the comp area, or do you think even in the next few picks, all of a sudden it's still great value? Like I said earlier, it's pretty unprecedented whiff for a first round pick. So at what point is it a good value grab?
I think bottom half of this first round, like comp rounds, I think if you're looking at Jace there, you're going to probably get a significant deal right there.
Yeah. I'm wondering who's going to be the I'm always fascinated by the Padres too. Like they love to go prep.
Yeah. And they don't have a pick till the third round after this.
Wow. So do you go ceiling here then and take a shot at Laviolette? Usually they like the hit tool and just what could you see here? Like if you were AJ Preller, what's your angle here? I doubt they go another prep lefty after doing 2 last year.
Yeah, because is it worth saving money for pick 99? Right. I don't know.
That's the thing. I would think maybe because they have their guys that are under the radar that Preller was at a high school and nobody knows about, in the middle of nowhere and finds a dude. But I think they're one of the most fascinating situations right now. Do you just go with a whiff ceiling Aloy or Laviolette, or do you save money here and hope you can buy into the second round theoretically with a money saving pick?
Go figure. We mocked Case and Cunningham here, so that's out.
I'd love to see them go Bodine.
Yeah.
Then he'd probably be catching in the big leagues next week.
Yeah. Guaranteed. And it's like, well, so we had Slater DeBrun and Ryan Mitchell as some other guys who might make sense here. And we did the mock for the Padres.
Oh, they went with another prep lefty.
Did they?
Cruz Schoolcraft.
They
love their prep lefties. So what do you think? Like, how does he compare? I know they're so different because Cash Mayfield's been in the low 90s. If that, he's been averaging like 91, 92. I know he's been dealing with some shoulder discomfort. Boston Bateman throws absolute fuel. Like,
yeah.
He seems like he's kind of in between the two, probably skewing more towards Bateman. But
yeah, he's like a low 90s guy. I think it's maxed out at 97. But he's 6'8", 230. He's a guy who probably can grow into some more velocity as he kind of rolls through. Looking at this pick, I think they're definitely not underslotting here. They're going to spend a ton of money because the number has apparently been pretty big for Cruz, and he was interested in going to campus and going to Tennessee to play for Tony V. So I don't think the Padres are saving much here, and they're going to be spending a lot.
Wait a minute, this guy is a beast.
Oh, I mean, he's a monster.
6'8", 230. Look at him throw.
How's the command?
I think he's got to tune it in a little bit, but for the most part, it
looks pretty easy though. I mean, look, the Padres, Mayfield. I don't want to judge too much because again, he was dealing with shoulder discomfort, and he's still been getting whiffs when he's on the mound. Bateman has looked fantastic in the early going. They need upside. They need just I think high upside prospects through that system. They're always trying to replenish. In terms of ceilings, where would of the players available right now, where would you kind of peg? Where do you think Tyler would peg that the ceiling of a Schoolcraft relative to some of the others?
I think pretty high. A lot of teams have been out on Schoolcraft just because of the body and the size, and there's some command that wavers here and there, but he's just got to do some small fine tuning, and an organization like the Padres are probably going to be able to do that with him. And if he can fill up the strike zone and you can expect a lot more strikes from him, and he grows into some more velocity, this is a kid that you're definitely going to like.
Yeah.
They didn't take him as a two-way. I know we had him listed as a potential first baseman, but the arm was just way too good for the bat to even be considered.
Let's answer this question. Can we answer?
Thanks for the donation, Matt. You're the man.
I want to answer this question. I want to throw it to both of you. I don't trust the Angels to underslot and get value in the lower rounds. They aren't the Brewers, Cubs, and Dodgers. How do y'all feel? Again, thank you so much, Matt, for the donation. Jared, I'll throw that to you first.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what they did last year. I mean, I thought they spent a pretty good amount of money last year as well.
Didn't they say they saved a little bit with Moore? No.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just trying to pull up the last year's tracker, but yeah, I think that's. I mean, this is the class though. You're not going to overspend a ton on guys, I think, later in the rounds. I mean, the high school guys that are starting to realize, if you go to campus at this point to play college ball as a freshman at an SEC school, your likelihood of playing time is pretty small. I think MLB teams are recognizing that and being like, hey, you can come and just start developing right here instead of sitting out an entire year, having to go to the portal, having to go to some mid-major and then try to find it. And then next thing you know, you're 2 years removed and you're a junior and you're draft eligible. So I think there's an opportunity for the Angels to get some guys like that.
And look, they have done all right. They like to sometimes go mega slot in the 9th, 10th or the 10th round or whatever on some guys. Yeah. And I know they did it with Caden Dana in the past. They are sneaky okay with the drafting. I wouldn't put it past them actually finding some value a little bit later on. They're not the Brewers. I agree. They're not some of these other orgs, but there's a lot of things I'll make fun of the Angels for. I can't completely hate on the way that they've been able to go about the drafts.
They've been drafting well. I mean, Neto was a great pick, and Shanwell was a good pick, and it seems like Moore is one as well.
And overslotting a Dana, he's still looking to find it at the big league level. But I mean, that's a good prospect to have. You didn't get in the first or second round, and so
they lost out on Prager. That's not their fault. Texas A&M was like, hey, here's a ton of money.
Yeah.
But I think you made a really good point with that, where there are things to make fun of the Angels. We make fun of the Angels from time to time. This type of drafting, like, they've been doing pretty damn well. Like, this would be one of the things where I was like, I gotta trust the Angels at spots like these.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't mean to interrupt this discussion, but it does seem like the pick may be in Philadelphia Phillies. Gage Wood.
Yeah.
The guy I thought was going to go to the Royals. So that's
I'll
probably
give
going
you
to
the
change.
floor. I need to pee so bad, so I'll be right back. But
Absolutely. I'll chop it up with Jared while you're taking that urinating break. Jared, if we're talking about value from your big board, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about a couple other guys. I mentioned Arquette to the Marlins. I thought that was really good value. Now, of course, I'm blanking because there's so much chaos at number 15. I'd have to scroll back and look. I'll do that after you answer the question. But Gage Wood at 26 to the Phillies has to feel like great value if you're a Phillies fan.
Oh, you got to love this. I mean, it's an electric fastball that just has a ton of carry and rides upstairs. Like, he's 94 to 96 up to 97 with a ton of extension. It's just a fun guy. And like, you watch what he did in the College World Series. Yeah, sure, it's Murray State.
Texting about it, dude. He was crazy.
It was insane. I think you all were there for it, weren't you? Or no?
No, we were sitting in the airport. I was sitting in the airport watching the game on my laptop, just so upset. Like, at the same time, I was upset that I wasn't there. I was like, of course, we chose this day to leave. But then at the same time, in pure awe of what he was doing to a good lineup. I know now I'm forgetting. Again, I'm just forgetting things because everything is so crazy. Who's the team that he just absolutely dominated? The team that just made it to the College World Series? That was
Murray State.
Murray State.
Yeah.
Right. And they got there because of their lineup. And then Gage Wood just sent them packing pitch after pitch after pitch. This has got to be a good pick.
Yeah. And I mean, if he fell here because of them, like we said, the medicals, like if the Phillies are okay with it, they got to be happy, right? Because like this is a guy who's just absolutely dominated in that College World Series. Shows he's got a curveball, slider, splitter. Like it's a good pitch mix. There's a lot to build on there, and there's some upside left. So you're just like, you got to be happy if you're a Phillies fan.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about best value so far in your mind because, I mentioned Arquette with the Marlins. At number 15, the one I forgot, Kyson Witherspoon to the Red Sox, I thought was great value. But is there someone else jumping out through the first 26 picks?
Kyson's my favorite pick this draft. Like I saw him at the SEC tournament, and he was just absolutely dominant. Yeah, cutter, curveball, slider, just fastball combo. He was just using the curveball over and over again to get swing and miss and strikeouts. And it's polished. It's like one of the more polished arms in the entire class as well. I thought he was for sure going to go potentially top 10 here in this draft. We heard like Blue Jays, things like that. But man, I'd be super excited if I was the Boston Red Sox because Kyson Witherspoon, one, is not just like has the tools on the field, but it's an 80 grade makeup, like incredible kid, incredible human being. Man, it's going to be fun to watch go to that minor league system.
I want to answer this question from Cy Bush. And it's more explaining kind of draft strategy. Can y'all explain the idea of underslotting and spending less money on a certain pick to save it for a later pick or the next draft? How can you spend less money on the same draft pick with a less talented player? Jared, I'll throw that to you first.
Yeah, so basically, if you're going to underslot, you're trying to save that money for a later pick. So every team's got a bonus pool that they can go to. Like the Orioles have 19 million, which is the highest bonus pool. For the first 10 rounds, I believe it is, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
they can spend it however they want in that sense. And so they can kind of manipulate the picks if they wanted to save money in the first round and then buy a guy down in the second round and give him like an overslot deal. So it's kind of money manipulation, basically.
I think, if there's a player you absolutely love, then you're less inclined to do it. But when there's a situation where, hey, we don't love a guy here, it's no different. It is a little different, but it's very similar to NFL draft. You're picking at 5. Another team, wants a quarterback, whatever it may be. You don't have a second round pick, or you want an extra second round pick, or you want to trade and get an extra first round pick, right? You move back and you get another pick in the late first. It's essentially what it allows you to do, right? Because let's say you have the 45th pick, you have more money to work with to potentially give a player the 28th slot value. And I think that really ends up making it an opportunity to almost trade into the first round or move up your other picks if there's not somebody that you love with that first selection.
Guys, Cleveland Guardians are going with the guy who doesn't feel like a Cleveland Guardian, but maybe that's why he's perfect for the Cleveland freaking Guardians. Jace Laviolette.
They've been trying to add
Nuts.
power to this fold, man. They have. I mean, they trade they trade back for Nolan Jones. They've been transitioning, I think, from that trend a little bit. And I was wondering if they were going to do it. I think it makes sense, but it is very non-Guardians. But I think that's what they've been trying to do over the last couple years, is all of a sudden try to add a little bit more pop and get away from the hit over everything kind of archetype that so many of their players have. And I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just he's got to hit. He's got to, if he's a 30 grade hitter, even, I think he makes it work, right? I mean, because what are your thoughts? You've even watched him more than I have. I mean, I've gotten through the video a lot, but game context, how do you feel about the approach and where that can be? Can he really lean into that 3 true outcome approach enough to hedge the hit tool?
Yeah, I mean, like, he's shown it before, right? Like before last year, he was able to do that. But this year, he's just been whiffing at everything. Like, lefties tear him up. I think he's definitely a very high risk for a platoon. He mashes righties, but the lefties just get to him every single time. But the barrel rate, like, he gets barrel the ball. So, like, when he is actually making contact, like, he's got that ability as well. It's just like, the whiff and the chase rates aren't actually as bad. It's just the whiff rate. So he doesn't pick up spin.
Yeah, I got the swing decisions seem pretty good overall. I mean, it's sub 20 chase against spin. It's closer to like 17% across the board. Hits the crap out of the ball, elevates consistently. Yeah, it can come together there. It's unprecedented strikeout rate for a first round guy, but I mean, I think he can come along enough to make this thing happen. That is, I'm fascinated. And the defense, I think, is a really underrated aspect too here, where it's a good corner, and they're gonna try him in center, right?
Yeah, I mean, they will. I think he's going to be eventually into a corner outfield spot, but he has athleticism to stick there. If someone can work with him and kind of refine some of that, give him some better jumps, he's got the athleticism and the speed to kind of to be able to do it. And the arm strength, like, if he has to play a corner, it's going to play really well.
Also, just wanted to answer this question, Jordan. Absolutely.
We'll do it for free. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you kidding me?
That's
the coolest thing in the world. The only things I usually have to sign are like tax documents to take.
I'm actually so excited about that question. Send me anything you want. I'll sign.
Yeah,
it. That's the coolest thing ever.
It could be an ugly picture of him.
Yeah, literally. I'll sign anything.
We'll sign it.
It'll just be a good signing.
Absolutely. DM us. We'll figure that out. You're the man. And thanks for having 2 JB hats. I'll send you another one for free.
Jared,
they got him.
Damn it, you got him.
It.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
I love this. Like, this is like your typical coach's kid. His dad's the head coach at High Point University, and like, you listen to him speak. If you listen to Connor Dorney's interview with him at the MLB Draft Combine, the kid's a 80 grade makeup. Like, everything you want on paper from a personality standpoint. You listen to him talk, it reminds you a little bit personality-wise of Bobby Witt Jr. Not saying he's going to turn into Bobby Witt Jr. like on the physical side of the ball, but this is a kid who, when Tyler saw him last summer, he was pitching on the mound throwing 96, and everybody thought he was entering the draft as a pitcher. He was like, no, I want to play every day, and figured out how to become one of the best prep hitters in the entire class, like within a 6-month span, basically. Going to stick on the left side of the diamond, most likely as a third baseman. The arm strength is incredible, but it's just a guy whose bat all spring just kept improving. And there's people were concerned that there might be some hit tool concerns there, but the power was playing. The hit tool just continued to improve, and it's a guy who kind of works his tail off, man. And it's just a fun pick.
So before we get to the next pick, let me control why I feel like I'm in a rave right now. You guys just chop it up. It does look like a 29, and I'm already pissed. Jared, I told you I wanted my Yankees to get this guy, but the Diamondbacks, you got to tell your Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing taking my guys?
Yeah.
I've already reserved Patrick Forbes.
Hey, can you please not try to succeed? Because my friend Peter wants Yankees player, better prop.
See, but if you were my friend, you would say that because I want him and I want him.
You're right.
Yeah.
I like it. the Diamondbacks have taken advantage of having these like 2 early picks the last couple of years. They're doing a good job, man. What do you think of the trajectory for Forbes? I mean, it's a high probability. Like in worst case scenario, you're putting that guy at leverage. It's playing, but
it's playing.
What do you think about the chances to start? Because I'll get into the arsenal after you share your thoughts. But
yeah, I mean, you probably will note this, but the walks have to come down, right? The command was always an issue. Even the games when he was pitching in the distance in the College World Series, is still like 4 to 5 walks a game. He was just dominating people with his stuff. And like, as you mentioned, as soon as you get to minor league baseball, it's going to change a little bit, right? You're going to have to figure out how to live in that strike zone. And he's a guy who kind of benefit from that raid the zone mentality. Like he needs an organization that's, and the Diamondbacks maybe can do that with him. Where he just focuses on getting it over the plate and some stuff, because the stuff is so good. You don't have to pinpoint into the corners and things like that with his stuff. Like you just got to figure out how to get it over the plate.
Dude, when I hooked up to the just the TrackMan feed and at the College World Series, and some of the fastballs that he was spinning, we're talking like 2,600 RPM, like I'm running ride.
I'm so jealous.
It was insane. So that fastball, I mean, that's going to play. But, I do think that the D-backs are maybe making this pick knowing that there's a good chance that he ends up being a fast-track reliever piece. But that fastball out of the pen would be outrageous. He used it 70% of the time this year. And when you have the 70% fastball usage and you're still walking guys at, 11% clip, it's a little concerning. But he was ripping some impressive sliders from a data perspective as well. I mean, those 2 pitches, again, that'll play at leverage. I do wonder that if at this stage of the draft, they felt like they were fine taking a guy that may ultimately be a reliever. I do have my concern. I just think between the command and the fastball reliance, you never know with arms. It's so fluid. We always talk about it. But I do skew towards leverage arm, but it could be a really, really darn good one.
It looks like the Orioles just put in both of their picks, and it actually answers this question. From Marcus from Hawaii, Sox fan. Would Eloy be good at 33? Unfortunately, Marcus, he just went at 31. The Orioles have selected Caden Bodine and then went Wahiva Eloy.
You want to talk about 2 opposite players hit wise, like safe floor with Bodine.
Right? They go model heavy, so they get value on each side of the model spectrum, I guess.
Yeah. You're looking at a guy with Eloy that's basically like swing and miss for days, but insane power numbers and exit velos. And then you have Bodine, who's just like, I hit everything everywhere.
They went
sorry, Marcus.
They went Irish, Caden Bodine, Wahiva Eloy.
No arms.
Just college bats.
I like it though. I like it too. I like really fun trio.
Yeah.
I mean, if I told you before the draft that they could land those 3 guys, would you have been shocked?
I think so. I mean, like Bodine makes sense here. I didn't think Eloy was going to fall this far, but they must be paying him down or something.
Anyone think Irish was going to be at 16? All the word was the top 10, right? I mean,
because he didn't submit his medicals, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's not getting his bonus for the medicals," and so he's definitely getting top 10 money. But he must be getting a ton of money from the Orioles because they have a ton of money to spend.
Jordan, thank you so much for the donation, my friend.
The stream, man. You're the man.
And also, guys, just another reminder, if you are enjoying this draft stream, I know I am, hit the like button, keep filling up the comment section. Because the energy here has just been incredible. We're going to go all the way to the end of, all of the comp picks through 40. We want to get the Mets pick, Yankees pick, Dodgers pick, at the end here. So really appreciate the support, guys. Again, just subscribing to the YouTube channel and liking this video. And also, if you want to join our Discord, it's just $10 a month, less than a price of a sandwich. After this, I know Aram and I and the rest of our Just Baseball staff are going to be filling up the Discord. And I'm just saying, Tyler, Jared, the whole Just Baseball staff, we're going to be filling up our Discord with all of our takes. It's going to be an absolute blast. So make sure you join the Discord. I think somebody will drop it in the chat here on YouTube.
So to add some context to what Jared had said about the dichotomy of Eloy and a guy like Caden Bodine, Eloy, he had 90th percentile exit velocity of nearly 108 miles per hour, hard hit rate of 51%, but an in-zone whiff rate of 20.5%. So like it's a sub 80% zone contact. So it's power power, but there's some hit tool concern. Then you have a Bodine who, I mean, the numbers are absolutely insane. In zone contact rate north of like 95%, and the EV skew, a good bit lower, where you have a 90th percentile of 102. But when you're running an in zone contact rate of 97% from what I've got here from a 67 game sample, and you're walking twice as much as you strike out, and you're an elite defensive catcher, you get a good shot at being able to get to the big leagues and be a 3-WAR player. I think Bodine's the high floor guy and a good chance of at the very least being an average catcher. That's why I think it's surprising to me that he fell this far. He definitely is at least a backup. And then with Eloy, you could get this everyday guy on the left side of the infield that could hit 30, but you also could have a guy that may not hit enough. I like the idea, though, of the 2 power guys, the Orioles betting on their hitting development. They've had some success developing the power guys, and then also hedging a little bit with a guy that is a guarantee to at least be a backup catcher for you.
I have a question.
I like that.
I have a question for the both of you. Right, we talk about Billy Carlson, unbelievable glove at short. There's a lot of great gloves in this draft, and I know comparing a catcher to a shortstop is tough, so just try your best. I know it's not a perfect science. Do you think Bodine is the best defender in the entire draft? Do you think that's fair to say, or not so much?
I mean, Eloy is really, really good defensively. Like I like Eloy at the shortstop, but I think Bodine, it's hard to find a guy who can frame like that, and he blocks it well, he throws it well. Like he does. I saw him at the Sun Belt tournament when I was down there for the SEC, and he threw out like 3 guys from his knees in one game.
Unreal glove.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry, no, go for it. Yeah, that's it.
I think Carlson's defensive potential is probably the most insane, but you don't get catchers like that very often. So it's kind of eye of the beholder.
More than fair. It does seem like the Brewers pick might be in. Brady Ebel,
110 on our board.
Holy crap!
But it is the Brewers.
So they're going to take some crazy prep arms later that probably thought we had no chance of getting drafted, of ultimately probably going to school.
And Tyler, of course, in his write-up, put there's a bit of Eric Batanti in his profile.
No way.
Fits perfect.
That's actually nailing it.
Yeah.
There's a bit of Eric Batanti in there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've got their types, man. The swing types too, movers. They're looking at the way guys move biomechanically. And if they see some similarities to a Batanti, you know that they're going to be excited about that. It's interesting though, because now you think they're just pushing these savings even more so to where like a prep guy that we might think who are there any prep guys that you think may have just fallen off here that most people are thinking I'll go to school? Like there's not an obvious one this year. Like where could these Brewers savings be getting pushed?
There's guys like Matthew Fisher. I don't think have been taken. He's in the 40s. Slater DeBrun hasn't been taken. Cooper Fleming's a name I've been hearing get thrown around. That Michael Oliveto is the big name. That could be like the Orioles' last pick.
Because they went like Okie, I'm thinking about just like the Guardians in the past too, like and just going volume later. But the Brewers was McCage. They ended up spending pretty good over slot. I'm interested to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean Miguel Sime Jr. too is another one that the 100-mile-an-hour right-hander.
Gas.
We got another pick coming up. Boston Red Sox seem to be selecting right-handed pitcher out of Tennessee, Marcus Phillips. Jared.
Interesting. This is a guy I know Tyler really, really liked. I saw him in the SEC tournament, and he threw extremely well there as well. It's a lot of stuff, but there's just some shoring up he needs to do in terms of like command and control. But it's legit. Like the fastball is really, really good. He's touched 100 miles an hour. It's been he was sitting in the upper 90s in the SEC tournament. And so like this is just a kind of a big time stuff guy. And for the Red Sox, you got to be happy taking some arms here.
Yeah, look at that loud stuff.
Yeah,
Red Sox
that they're playing to a strength.
Yeah.
Well, I love this question. This is a good one for you, Jared.
Interesting. I don't really know. That's a good question.
I think Forbes would be an answer just because like the numbers weren't great, but it's not that insane. But I don't know. I don't know if there's a clear cut guy like that this year. And then, of course, there'll be a guy that goes second, third round, ends up absolutely shoving that you didn't expect. But someone I'm trying to think of, not really off the top of my head.
Who has been terrible numbers wise?
Because it's sometimes hard.
Cade Obermueller.
Oh, is that who went right now?
No, that was the pick.
That's the answer to that question.
Oh,
or at least his answer.
I mean,
because the thing is with Brian Wu, he went. Lions even just dropped it in the YouTube chat. He went in the 6th round. Like, it's hard to have those call outs now.
Yeah, it's
impossible. That was such a diamond in the rough.
I'd be Theo Epstein.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a little hard. When is there's a couple guys that I feel like I would expect to see before the end of the comp round. Who would you say is the biggest surprise is still on the board for you, Jared?
Looking through the board now, Cam Appenzeller is probably one. I thought maybe he'd be like an Orioles type guy in one of those picks that they had at comp earlier. He's 35th on our board, so like he's still a chance that will go. It's like Brendan Summerhill actually is a name that I'm thinking of.
I gotta get it though, dude. Like we were talking about it. He didn't look good. I understand he was banged up, but he didn't look good. The body language wasn't good.
Yeah.
And it was an EV90 of like 100.7 miles per hour this year.
I was telling Peter, when you look at that swing, you're like, how does there not more power?
I don't get it. And then Canarella too. Like that's a guy that I think there may just not be enough impact there, right?
Yeah, I mean, he swings kind of a wet noodle, basically.
Yeah, unfortunately. So to that point now, those are guys that are a little bit more tooled up. Maybe give you a little bit more value with the glove. If teams are just so much lower on that bat, could we see a Devin Taylor potentially go in this comp run? I love the offensive profile of Devin Taylor. I know he had some helium going into this draft as it approached a little bit more. I understand he doesn't give you the defensive value that some of these other guys give you, but I think there's a really exciting blend of hit and power with Devin Taylor. I think given relative to where these other players that are left here.
Yeah, I love Devin Taylor, just like as a person and a player. Like that kid's awesome. And like you said, the power is legit. Like he had some of the best underlying data that you kind of seen in college baseball.
Waiting.
Yeah. Everybody's worried about him defensively, but I feel like you could stick him in a corner. He's going to be fine. Like he's not awful out there.
We just saw a first baseman get taken. Like, what? How much do we care? I'm interested to see. That's a guy I'd love to see the Marlins potentially snag or whoever it may be.
Yeah.
Before we get to the Tigers pick, because it looks like it's being announced here soon. I hope the YouTube chat will join me just to clap it up for Jared and Tyler. While the mock might have not been the most accurate, because no mock could actually be accurate for this type of chaos in this draft, your guys' big board has been really sound. I mean, think about it. The only guys that are getting drafted that aren't, in the slot of picks that you thought they might go in are the guys who are clear under slot candidates. Where you're saying, it would make sense that they would go here so they could save money later on somebody else. But in reality, like we're looking at who's left on the big board. It's almost like the order of what you guys did, just they got picked in different order. But I want to give you guys a ton of credit. You guys did such a good job on this big board. There's so many write-ups. Again, as we log off here after the 40th pick, you could go check out the big board because, again, Jared and Tyler did such a good job. There's all these write-ups. And pick number 34 to the Tigers, Michael Oliveto.
This kid.
Is, again, on your big board, number 64, another underslot candidate, most likely, right?
Yeah, but he started flying up boards. Like even like after our update, we started hearing more and more noise that Oliveto was going to be a first rounder. Brian Recco, who actually we worked with at Prospects Live, now does his own thing in the Northeast. He's been all over Oliveto forever. And this kid, he's a Yale commit too. So like he was not really on anybody's radar. All of a sudden started breaking out. There's just a ton of projection from the frame on the left side. He's just an impressive
smooth
kid,
operation. It reminds me a little bit of like Walker Jenkins, the way that he can get into it from the left side. I mean, left-handed hitting catcher with some thump, smooth swing. That's always going to be an exciting option to add to the fold here. Is that we got him dialed up? Let's go.
It's funny,
It's a smooth swing from the left side as a catcher. That's always going to be exciting. And then we've got Luke Stevenson going as well.
Yeah, another catcher.
I was kind of surprised to see him fall as much as he did.
Yeah,
but
the hit
I
tool
get
is
it
pretty bad. throughout the year.
Yeah, let me pull up. So Stevenson, I mean, another catcher, another guy that's swinging it from the left side, but the end zone whip. I mean, it's the same thing we're talking about with Roy here. Like it's 78% zone contact, 73% overall contact rate. It's going to be tough there. But the EVs are kind of similar though. It's not the top end, maybe not quite as high, but a 54% hard hit rate, a 90th percentile of 105.5. I mean, I do feel like this is still a really interesting potential 3 true outcome.
Yeah.
Left-handed hitting catcher. He doesn't chase, 17% chase, hits the ball in the air at a 64% clip. How's the defense?
It's pretty good. I think he's going to stick behind the plate. I think we had considered him to be the best catcher in the entire class, just because of the offensive profile. If he could just figure out how to hit off speed, man, like that's the biggest thing is spin gets him. And like if he's able to kind of adjust and be able to figure that out, but he's got the tools on both sides of the plate.
So this comes to us from the chat. Spencer Scott, Harry Ford is getting dealt at the deadline, and Stevenson can become the next blocked catcher in Seattle. I love that because it started as, are they drafted for need? Is Harry Ford going? No, he's just talking about him getting blocked. But it is interesting to see, potentially the Mariners want to bring him in, not just because he's the best player on their board, but potentially Harry Ford could be on the move. You never know.
I thought the Twins would go with Devin Taylor. I thought that'd be a good fit. They didn't. They ended up
Riley
going.
Quick.
Yeah, Riley Quick, according to Joe Doyle. So
I like that pick.
I do like it though.
Yeah, that's again another guy. I think he fell because he had Tommy John surgery last year, and so he was limited on his innings throughout the year. He finally kind of started ramping up as the year went on and started throwing over 5 innings.
At you.
Dude, it's gross.
It's a ton of horizontal separation where you're getting arm side sink at 97, and then you're getting glove side sweep at like 86, and he's jumping at you. I do feel like there's a fair amount of reliever risk here as well, but it is a deep bag of it is a unique bag of pitches here where you're getting that sinker, the slider, the changeup, a cutter as well. Where are you at in terms of maybe the command questions? He managed a 9% walk rate. He does get ground balls, so he can potentially get early contact here. I think it's a really fun project though to potentially add to the fold.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you want to see him refine some of the command issues, but the stuff moves so much. You can see it in the video. Like that's part of the reason why there's command issues, I think. And so if he cleans up that and just figures out how to do that, I mean, you have the potential for a really good starter. But like you said, Arm, if there is that reliever risk there, I think he's got the stuff that can be like a high-end arm out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing like 17, 18-inch horizontal running fastballs from that release, and then you're getting the arm side move as well. And then that changeup, like it's like a hard power changeup that I mean, opponents hit 190 against us here, 23% swinging strike rate. Like it's a fun arsenal. Definitely you're going to give that guy all the time to try to get going and throw enough strikes. But if you fall back on the relief aspect, it's definitely going to be a nasty reliever.
Also, Jared, it seems like pretty good value here too. Number 27 on the big board.
Yeah. Slater. Going with, I mean, this is the guy we thought we mocked to the Diamondbacks because we basically called him Slade Caldwell 2.0.
Slater to Braun to the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, and this is a guy, again, as we talked about on the mock episode, that the hit tool is so good, and he's a physical outfielder with a ton of speed. He's definitely going to stick in center field. Like, if he can develop any kind of power, you're looking at, like, potentially like a Corbin Carroll type. So, like, that's what you're banking on right there is, like, you're hoping that he does find that power. Just because everything else is there, that speed, the hit tool.
Though.
What's that?
Yeah, look at he is jacked though for a little
jacked.
5'9", 192.
How's the defense?
Good, really good. He's a guy who's definitely going to stick into center field. That speed translates out there. He's expected to stick there long term. The route running is really good. He's got good instincts. He's got a strong arm as well. So like he's a guy who's definitely going to stick in the outfield.
I like the operation a lot, though. It's simple, coil, drive with 2 strikes. It's fun. I like this pick too because they went college, and then you get a kind of dynamic player here that they like their defensive center fielders too. It seems like he can be solid up the middle then.
Aram, I want to throw this question from Tyler Malloy. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name. Does the Fisher pick for Milwaukee forecast a trade from a crowded pool of infield prospects?
Thank you again so much for supporting the stream, man.
Really appreciate it.
I don't think it necessarily does, but I think it makes them more comfortable in doing so, right? Like, I think they're going to be buyers. I think they absolutely should be buyers, but buyers for the Brewers always looks a little bit different. They may have been really excited to get Fisher, and that was a guy that they wanted to add, and I think it makes you a little bit more comfortable to potentially part with a Bovee or a Luke Adams. So I think in a way, yes, especially because they might move a Tyler Black too, who takes a spot on the 40-man, is now healthy again. Wilkins playing really well this year, but they could see him as a sell high candidate. I think it makes you a lot more comfortable, but I don't think it was, hey, we're probably going to trade one of these guys. Let's draft Fisher. I think they liked Fisher a lot no matter what, but I do think it makes you a lot more comfortable to potentially trade one of those guys. I don't think they move a Batanti. I know they really like him and still want to see him put it all together. I don't think they move a Burke unless the team is adamant, but I could really see them moving a Bovee, a Luke Adams, or a Wilkin. And now you can feel even more comfortable with that because you could argue Fisher has a little bit more going for him than those guys at this point.
So moving on to pick number 38, as reported by Joe Doyle, the New York Mets are selecting Michigan infielder Mitch Voigt at pick 38. Jared, correct me if I'm wrong, two-way guy, right? Or was a two-way guy at one point?
Was a two-way guy, went completely bat this year. Kind of ditched the pitching. The bat turned a huge corner. He dropped his K rate almost 10% this year, which is insane. And he's got a bunch of power to go along with it. The EVs are really nice behind it. I like this pick a lot. This is Tyler's draft crush too.
Yeah, going to do a whole on the episode.
Yeah,
we did follow up. I mean, makes sense. There is a lot to like data wise. I mean, he absolutely mashed this year. Ton of doubles. Hit for some power too. A good air pull, which is obviously something you want to see. Walked as much as he struck out. EV 90 of 104 miles per hour. Contact rates were slightly above average. Chase rates were slightly below. And it's a guy that just started focusing on hitting, and I think could add some more strength. It's a little wiry, right? So what do you think about the defensive home, though?
I think that's the hard part, right? I think he's got to figure that one out. He's played all over the place throughout his entire career at Michigan. They settled him out on second base, and he's a decent defender there. He showcased that he could play the position, so it wasn't anything like sexy or off the board, like ridiculous defense. But if he can stick at second base, I think that's where he's going to just end up being.
And then it's a kind of power, but yeah, I think just kind of good offensive second baseman. How do you think the defense would play there? Fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Like maybe close to above average. I think he can get there.
Yeah. I like it. That's a fun, dude, that's a good swing.
Yeah.
that is an efficient swing with loft at the same time.
And I'm seeing this on your in one of the write-ups for Voigt, 115 max.
Yeah,
no way.
Max exit velocity is written here, tickled with a 115.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, he's awesome. This kid's gonna be fun.
And now my Yankees are on the clock. Jared,
who do you want here?
Well, I wanted Patrick Forbes, and now I don't even know because I just had all of my eggs in one basket. That's why I'm not in the draft room.
Zach Root out of Arkansas?
Who do I want?
Devin.
Ianson out of LSU?
Mason Neville?
They're going to go with Neville, aren't they?
If we go with Summerhill, I'm going to crash out. There's
no way. That's such an anti-Yankees pick.
Yeah, there's no way.
I think they go
if that happens, I will crash out. I'm leaving the stream if we do
that. Has Neville gone yet?
No, still there.
Mason Neville. Hey, Aram, who do you think the fifth place teams, Rockies, White Sox, Marlins, Pirates, A's, have a shot to be good soon? Johnny loves steel balls.
Honestly, I think the Athletics won, and then I'd go, I think Marlins too.
Wait a minute.
Nice pick.
New York Yankees are selecting Dax Kilby at pick number 39. Guess who mocked Dax Kilby to the Yankees?
Did we?
You did.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Talk to me
like
about
this pick. This is a kid that has very little swing and miss. There's a ton of physicality already in the profile. He's 6'2", 190. But the bat plays, man, like power, contact. He's going to be probably a third baseman. I think did they take him as a shortstop?
I think they listed him as a shortstop.
I think he eventually will shift over to third. But they take a lot of these prep guys as shortstops, and then they just move in position after. But he's a guy who skyrocketed up boards. I think he ended up at 47 on ours. And we heard that there was first round noise for him pretty much the entire leading up to the draft. But yeah, I'd be excited about this pick.
So it's fair to say the Yankees won the draft. Incredible. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
So best yeah, I was gonna say the high school like approach for them in general. It seems like they're generally skewing that way. If they don't, it seems like college arm, high school bat. The way that they've usually gone the last few years.
Yeah.
Let's answer this question coming in from Lions. Who cooked so far in the draft? I mean, the Orioles getting those 4. I really like what the Twins did as well. But who else is jumping out to you, Jared and Arm?
My mom could have cooked with the Orioles bonus pool situation. So
I was going to say.
we could have let Kona pick some names out of a hat, and I think she would have done all right. But I mean, I don't hate what they did. I did a good job not messing it up.
D-backs, Forbes, and Cunningham.
I do like what the D-backs did, man. I do like what the D-backs did. I think you got to be happy with the Rockies getting a Holiday, and I'll just keep harping on that. We'll see what the Marlins do with their next pick. If they go Arquette and then another good value get,
that'd be good.
Later on, I think the Marlins could be a good one as well.
I like what the Red Sox did, Witherspoon and Phillips. I mean, those are 2 arms who could be. I
also like Astros getting Nyans. I'm going to be all over that, but I think that was a sick get.
Really isn't anyone who I'm like, oh wow, they stunk so far. I mean, you could say, well, Bremner was a reach, but who knows? We got to see.
Bremner's the only pick that I thought was just like, whoa.
We like Eli Willits. Like Jared, I think both of you are aligned where you're like, I would love to draft Eli Willits 1. It just seems that consensus is that he's definitely not. But I know, like Jared, in mock draft 2.0, you had Eli Willits go number 1.
Yeah.
So that is a shocking pick, but it's not that shocking to the both of you.
And he was number 1 on our board for a while too.
Exactly. So that's why I think a lot of these teams are doing pretty damn well so far. And the Yankees at number 1, which is, awesome.
The Twins are kind of boring.
You think so?
Yeah, Houston and Quick. Like, I like the players, but it's just not the sexiest.
They like the draft boring though. That's what they do.
Safe floor guys.
It's worked all right, I guess. It's better than drafting Hurt.
Yeah,
I think that helps.
Can you guys do me a favor and just marvel over this swing for a second for me? just talk about it and only say nice things.
You just flared that one, closed himself
off. Please. We got 1 pick. We got 1 pick of the draft. Just help me out.
He's raw, but I mean, it looks. The thing is, the Yankees develop hitters, I think, really well. I think they don't get enough credit for that. And you have a lot to work with here, which I think is really exciting. I do think that's the most exciting part of it. You're not drafting in the top 10. You have 1 pick, like you said. I think the projection there is exciting. Jack says L pick. Jared goes, his sources say L pick. No, he didn't actually.
No, I'm not saying ban Jared, just ban Jack from getting it.
Yeah, even though he didn't say it, just because somebody thought he may have said it. Dodgers back to back now.
Yeah. And then so we have a couple of more picks here. Dodgers back to back, then the Tampa Bay Rays, the 42nd pick, which they got in a trade for Jeffrey Springs and Jacob Lopez. And then we're going to end it on pick number 43 with the Marlins. I'm excited. But any thoughts so far? But actually, first, before those thoughts, again, another reminder, guys, we are presented by Chinook Seedery, the best seeds in the world. Jared, question for you. Use code JUSTBASEBALL for 15% off seeds. Favorite flavor? Chinook seeds.
Oh, man, the jalapeno ranch. I love that one. I'm in on that.
So many good ones. Elijah, you're back. What's up?
What's up, guys? I just thought I'd join again to say, hey, that's kind of it, honestly. I'm loving this, though. This has been fun. You guys have been crushing it. This has been super cool to get to be part of all this. And it's been a fun draft, man. I think I'm impressed by the Orioles, I will say. I think that's like my biggest takeaway from it. It's pretty crazy.
The Dodgers.
What do you think of that?
Going Arkansas all the way.
Double Arkansas?
Wow.
Double Arkansas.
Teammates. Arkansas, Zach Root and Charles Davelin.
They're 31 and 32 on our board back to back, too.
Wow.
Um,
Maybe
I
Root
think
is
Root
that guy.
there. I think Root there
Holy
is a pretty
soul
fun
snap
pick.
there, though. Jeez. But
Yeah,
is
Root's
there
a
some
fun
concern
pick.
about the quality of his fastball? I mean,
I'm concerned about it, but
93 miles an hour.
yeah.
Contact rates were off the charts against it. 92% in zone hitters were against it. EV 50 of like 91 miles per hour. I think that's a big concern. But you've got a good curve, a good change, and a good slider. So based on that, maybe they can help him find a heavier sinker here that works a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, they clearly feel like they can do something here.
I'd say the Dodgers just probably aren't afraid of a guy where they can work with the fastball a little because he's got those secondaries that are already so good. And I think they could probably move him decently quickly, to be honest.
I mean, that's the one. But you got a strike rate, though, on the secondaries of 66% this year. Opponents hit a combined 190 against, those three offerings. So you'll take the guy that can spin it and flip it over. I mean, the changeup's probably his best pitch. And then just try to find a way, as a guy that's probably a supinator, or excuse me, a pronator, to find that. But even if he's a pronator, he clearly can spin it a little bit too. So I think that's probably what they like, that he can go both ways and see, if they can develop him a little bit further with the fastball. But the command's a little bit scattershot with the fastball as well. So I think they just need to overhaul that. And then what do you think about the Davelin pick?
I love Charles Davelin. I think this bat is just one of the most underrated bats in all of college baseball. Everything was good all year long. He had really good EVs. He's got a compact frame with a ton of strength to it. Like, this is a kid that really cares too. You saw it in the College World Series after he had that miscue. I think that, again, that'll go back to like, what's the biggest question mark around Davelin is defensively, where is he going to play? Not the greatest outfielder, probably is going to settle in somewhere around second base. But the bat's fun, and like, that's kind of bat I want to see in the Dodgers system too.
I mean, you look at the hit tool. I mean, it's 93% in zone contact rate, sub 20 chase. You mentioned the EVs, like slightly above average and flashed a little bit more. And it's just a good hitter. It's just point blank. It's a good hitter. Left on left, he had reverse splits, but he hit 306 against righties. Left on left, he hit 430 this year.
That's insane. I didn't even realize that.
Holy shit.
That's silly.
That's that's way better than righties. Is he a reverse platoon guy? That's almost such a crazy
he's
stat
reverse
that it's
splits, but I mean,
that's crazy.
It still works.
Hell yeah.
Holy crap.
Dude, how about I know I hopped in right after this pick, but shout out to Tyler Jennings on Mitch Voigt, because that's one that I had not seen mocked anywhere inside of the top 43 range. And Tyler's been telling us literally the last 3 days straight how much he likes Mitch Voigt, and Jared has told me that as well. So, these guys at On the Clock, man, this has been such a sweet addition to the Just Baseball Network, and I hope everyone for college baseball and for draft stuff is tuning in with On the Clock, because Jared and Tyler and the rest of the guys that help out here On the Clock have been so good in so many ways the past few months, man.
Couldn't agree more with you, Elijah. And how about that confirmation bias coming in from like a GM like David Stearns too? It's not like he was just drafted by anybody. He was drafted to one of the best GMs in the sport. So yeah, couldn't agree with you more, Elijah. We only got a few more picks left. Just a few more picks left. From Charlie in the chat, what are your thoughts on
Thank you, Alex. You're the man again. I don't know if I said thank you for the donation.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alex. Again, what are the thoughts on the Twins draft so far? Jared, you called it a little bit boring. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like boring, not in a bad way, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a boring draft, and it's like a couple safe floor guys that, like, Houston's probably not going to generate a ton of power, but he's really good defensively, and he's going to play up the middle easily because he's probably the best defender at shortstop in all of college baseball. So I like the draft. It's just boring.
Yeah. But sometimes boring works. Sometimes boring works where it's like, oh yeah, they just drafted, a couple guys who are going to be pretty solid big leaguers.
Yeah.
Sure. And they could use some. They need guys who just stay on the field.
Look at her Just Baseball bandana.
Look how cute that is.
She got the Just Baseball. Say hi. Say hi.
And guys, again, real quick, Elijah, as we wrap up here, we got 2 picks left. Really appreciate everybody coming in. This is our 4th MLB Draft live stream. We hope to do this for a very long time, and it's all thanks to everybody's support. And again, another reminder, If you guys are interested and you want a little bit more draft talk, and by a little bit, I mean, we are going to be chopping it up in the Discord after this with all of our takes. Make sure to join. They've dropped the link in the chat already, but I'm sure, I think we got a couple of people on the back end that will drop the link again. It's just $10 to join for an entire month, less than the price of a sandwich. So we'll be breaking all of that down. And of course, we'll be talking about it on tomorrow's Just Baseball show. And it's all presented to us by Chinook Seedery, the best seeds in the world, 15% off by using code Just Baseball. 2 picks left. Let's go.
What are the
around
Marlins going to do?
Let's go around the horn.
What are the Marlins? Okay. Good thoughts, Coney.
That's better than some of my analysis.
Yeah, honestly, like not far off.
Tell me who you think the Marlins are going to go with the next pick.
Well, I imagine Arquette's going to be full slot. So, right, or at least close to it. What do you think, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think they could get a little bit of cost savings there, but so they took him down so far, and there was a potential that he was like top 3. Yeah, I think you're going to be pretty close to slot.
I think they go money saving with this one. Just usually the way they do it, I think they go money saving this one.
What position?
Who I think that
I could see them go money saving and I don't know about position. I have no idea. I just think they save money here.
I think it's shocking. There's a few guys to mention, some high school guys that are interesting to keep an eye on here. Quinn Young and Jaden Fauske are 2 guys that I think I'm very surprised, honestly, have not gone yet. And I think the Rays going one of those guys would make a lot of sense. And then my White Sox at 44, I think, are definitely going to take one of those 2, upside high school bats at 44 potentially.
You want Summerhill?
No. Devin Taylor would be sweet.
Good value at this point.
Taylor's a guy Chase Shores.
That would be really
Be
fun.
fun.
You should just do the JB show here live.
No, honestly, not a bad idea. I'm so tired.
For 3 hours, we're probably going to record.
By the way, if you're at
morning.
All-Star Week, if you're out here, we'll be at Cards HQ tomorrow. Also, we are auctioning off these awesome canvases for charity that go to Conine's Clubhouse and Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, signed, painted by my wonderful girlfriend Ellie. They are really good. We're not biased. Stay tuned on social for it, but we already have the auctions live. You can see the pictures.
You can also see them on our story on Instagram.
See them on story. Corbin Carroll, Kyle Tucker, Walker Buehler, Max Clark. We've got
Michael
bangers, and they're really cool, and it goes to a great cause. So check them out.
Yeah, insanely cool stuff. There's some guys, Jared, who would you say are like the 2 to 3 guys, aside from, we mentioned Summerhill and Taylor, who are the other guys you're really surprised they're on the board still? Because there's at least 5 to 10 names that I kind of thought would be gone by now.
Yeah, I think Mason Neville out of Oregon is one that I'm kind of surprised is still on there. I think Devin Taylor, like RM mentioned, that's another bat that I don't understand why no one's going that route. And then probably Ianson maybe, but I still think he's a second rounder. We bumped him up to 34 on the board, but he still kind of has some of the traits of being more like a second rounder. It's kind of a floor over ceiling type guy.
Do you think the Rays are panicking here?
There goes Summerhill to the Rays.
Yeah.
It looks like, sounds like.
No way.
That does not feel like it. Wait, can I be wrong?
Yeah, it is Summerhill.
Yeah, there we go. That's not a Rays pick. That's a really interesting pick. That is not a Rays energy type of pick there.
Interesting.
Maybe just the value, right? I mean,
gotta
I guess that's the logic is like, this guy was going to go top 20, and he said they were at 42. But it's
Marlins and Frankie wouldn't like a Summerhill type anyways. They're gonna go more EV heavy. I'm trying to think who's more like EV driven.
I feel like
I would
Young
love
on there.
Personally, I would love him to go Coy James, but
be cool.
I like Quentin Young. I like that.
Do you think they take it? You think there's any chance to take a college back like Compton? I mean, if you're going EV driven, Compton's the best you're gonna get EV wise, probably.
I could see that. I think they go money saving though, ultimately, but I'm interested to see. But I think they do go money saving. But I could see the thumpy like college bat with maybe not a lot of positional value there. That's where I could see maybe a Compton. I think they could save some money maybe because you could probably save money with a Compton too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think he was projected
like you could save money on an Ethan Petrie.
That's big. That's big EV, big power.
That's big EV. I could
And
see
he
them going
improved his approach this year. So
I wouldn't hate that pick either.
landlocked at first base, but
That's I think I could see it being a Petrie or or that type, or they just surprised with some arm that we weren't expecting. But
I'm looking at Summerhill's data right now. It's just so weird.
it's just not. So Summerhill did it's EV90 like below 101 miles an hour.
106.
I love how Zoom did it for me.
I just.
But then he gets picked by the Rays, so maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. There's a decent chance I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm just 100.7 90th, 34% hard hit rate. It's plus hit. It's plus bat to ball. They must see something that they can unlock here, or they probably just thought their draft models probably just had it a good value.
Is this similar to the Braden Taylor pick? Was that a year ago, maybe 2 years ago?
Well, I didn't like that pick, and I still am lower on him. I still don't know how that guy's getting ranked in the top 100. I don't.
I thought Taylor had like a lot more pop though.
Yeah, and he doesn't though. That's the crazy thing.
That's
like if you look at
wild.
Braden Taylor's EV90, it's
Not
great.
good.
Not good, especially for how much whiff he actually has too. His EV90 is 102.
Not ideal. But maybe they see something. I don't know. I'm not.
This guy was ranked by a lot of outlets as a top 100 prospect, top 60 by like 160, 270, 262 this year for Braden Taylor. So the Rays could mess up the draft.
They'll still develop some guys out of nowhere though. So
that of course.
Yeah, their 7th rounder will end up being better than Brendan Summerhill. Summerhill quit in Omaha. Yeah, we all thought. I didn't like it.
Quit.
I didn't like
I'm
it
getting
at all.
fired up for this 44 guys. There's like the three picks I wanted are still there for the Sox at 44, which means I'm hoping they take one of them.
Unfortunately, Elijah, I think we're going to log off right
now.
after
I know we are. It's okay. I'm going to go get on the Future Sox pod and yell. This has been good though.
Because I got to post my home run derby picks. I'm excited.
Oh, Derby's going to be fun, guys. Everybody
Derby's
that's here too, definitely check in with us tomorrow. We're going to have so much social content out tomorrow. Might even get some live reaction videos. We're going to have a bracket go up tomorrow. We're doing a ton of fun stuff. It's going to be cool. Check in with Pete's bets for sure. So Derby's going to be fun. Derby is one of my favorite events of the year, and I know we all enjoy it here for sure.
It is the best event in an All-Star weekend in sports. Go ahead, Jared. We got the pick.
They got Cam Canarella.
Really?
The Marlins?
Cam Ganarella.
That doesn't really fit their bill. But again, I mean, you're getting they do love the center field defense, so I take that back. If they're not going to go EVs, they're going to go with the glove at center or shortstop. You think about targeting Starlene Caba. I think at this stage, it's hard not to like it because I mean, you think it's pretty good shot at being at least a 4th outfielder, right? With the defensive ability. I just the impact is, it was a disappointing year overall. That's just the best way to describe it. Where how much did he sink for you this year?
I mean, he was top 15 probably preseason for us. We thought maybe it was more related to, like, at least the power dip was more related to the injury that he was dealing with last year. Maybe he was still dealing with this year because I think when we interviewed him in the fall, he was basically like, yeah, I just had surgery or something, or just coming back from it. So maybe he was still dealing with that, and that's why the power was up. Like the average EVs were pretty good, but like the max wasn't great. And when we saw him at Shriners, like everything was weak contact.
Yeah. And that, I mean, but again, at this point, you're getting a guy that is going to stick in center. That, to your point, the average EV is not bad. It's just the top end's not totally there. I think I'd like to see the hit tool be a little bit more prevalent for a guy of this archetype. It's not bad. I have 85% in zone contact rate. But he's really good at spoiling pitches outside of the zone. So it's an 80% overall contact rate. You mentioned kind of dealing with a little bit potentially. He got better as the year progressed, and I mean finished unbelievably well. And I think that's something that the Marlins are probably going to call to, right? Final 22 games of the season, he hit 426, 491, 691. I mean, that's ridiculous. So finished the year strong. Hard hit rate was at like 49%. And I think at the end of the day, that's probably what they're looking at, and a guy that's got a good shot to to stick up the middle. How good do you think the glove is? I mean, you look at some of the highlights; those are outrageous. How good do you think the glove can be in center field?
I think it's really good. I think he's definitely going to be sticking in center field. Like it's super impressive, man. Like the plays he's able to make. He might have to like improve the route running a little bit because I think some of the plays he makes is because he just takes kind of the wrong route
for himself. Yeah,
yeah. But the athleticism's insane.
Finish him, though. He can finish play. That's for sure.
Yeah, like all that. Like that's insane.
And I know the Marlins feel. Thank you, Jason. I know the Marlins feel like they can help add some impact.
Interesting question.
It's an interesting question.
Just want to quickly shout out Jack M. Still in shock and celebrating Kate Anderson to Seattle. Thanks for the great show and content. Content go M's. Appreciate you, Jack. Thank you for the kind words. And
my favorite Jack M.
And by far. And we also said that when that happened, I couldn't believe the sentence that I said. Cade Anderson is going number 3 under slot to the Mariners. The Marine Layer guys were over the moon, and it's hard not to say that's the might be the best pick of the draft. Again, from Tyler, thank you guys so much for the donations. Thank you all for the great draft insight. I do want to answer this question, Caleb L29, and then I think we are going to say goodbye for tonight. Why didn't Devin Taylor get picked?
Defensive positioning. I think that's basically it.
Just defense. Tough, man.
But he's a good player.
That's so good. We're taking first baseman in the middle of the first round. Who cares? It's hitting power, and it's legit power, and it's all fields. I think whoever gets him early second round they're getting a really, really good player here. So it's unfortunate he slipped. I think that's going to be a really good get for them, whoever grabs him. So I'm looking forward
to that video goes there. Real quick, shout out our guy Peyton. Peyton has been crushing it. All the videos you've seen all night have been Peyton. What a dog. He's our king here with JB on the video side of things. He's going to pop in here for a sec. This man is a beast.
Make sure to go check out Big League Analysis, also Peyton's YouTube, TikTok and Instagram, but he also has a YouTube channel, some of the best breakdowns on social media. Make sure to go check him out. And again, as you can see, video extraordinaire. Thank you so much, Peyton. And thank you again to everybody listening. We will be recording a podcast with our first round reaction in the morning, as well with a home run derby preview. And also, I'm going to be dropping my home run derby picks tonight. And I think the article may go up as well. Not so sure, but the video definitely will. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you to Jared again on the Clock podcast. Make sure to check them out. They're going to be doing continued draft coverage, day 1, day 2, all of the rounds. And of course, Elijah as well just continues to crush it as one of the new hosts of the Call Up. And Arm, you were all right.
I'm okay. I'm a facilitator.
Arm and Peter are the best as well. These guys rock. Not Jack McMullen. These two are the kings of JB. Jack is down to that bottom tier down here, you know.
Also, speaking about Jack Arm, he does say he loves the pick.
Oh, I'm shocked. Jack loves the pick. Oh.
Well, again, guys. Oh, no, go ahead, Arm. Sorry.
No, I was saying if he hated it, I'm sure he would have been vocal.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much again for listening. We're going to log off here now, but this has been such a great stream. Thank you to our friends over at Chinook Seedery. Again, the best seeds in the world. Use code JUSTBASEBALL for 15% off. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the YouTube channel, we come out with content just like this almost every single day. So be sure to subscribe. For Arm Layton, Jared Perkins, Elijah Evans, I'm Peter Apple. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the stream. We'll see you tomorrow for Home Run Derby content. Peace out, everybody.